Good evening everybody and welcome to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. And it's from Interlagos. It's the second round of the showdown. It's rounds 91, 92 and 93. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson will be along in the moment. Adam, it's the showdown. Last week was a fantastic round. We've just got about 2 minutes before the race starts. I'm so sorry to everybody out there for the rush start, but what are you expecting today, Adam?
I think we're expecting even better racing than we saw at Okayama. The long straights of Interlagos, the fast sweeping corners, going to be lots of slipstreaming, and I think we might see some photo finishes at the end of the line. And of course this will all be important for the showdown. We're running through the top 10 in the standings quickly as we're about to advance to the grid. Wojciech Savidovic leads Sebastian Job by a slender 5 points. Going into this race meeting, Jamie Rushworth is in third, Alex Malensky is in fourth and Kip Stevens in fifth, Andreas Katz is in sixth, David Baker seventh, Simon Field eighth, Dan Hunt in ninth, Stelian Chapelewski in 10th and Pete Newman is in 11th. We'll run you through the AM standings as well. It's just as close there, even closer in fact, with Richard Gore and Paul Smith separated by 2 points. John Roberts is in third, Laura Bond in fourth, Stephen Burke in fifth and Steve Richardson is in sixth. And in the team standings, Engineers Direct lead GT Omega by 23 points with STEM Sim Racing in third, 71 points behind the leaders.
Okay, the grid then for the first race of the evening from Interlagos, Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. Wojciech Savidovic is on pole position by just over 0.3 of a second from Jamie Rushworth. Then it's Jamie Fluke in third for New Homes Digital, Julian Janowski in fourth for GT Omega, Andreas Katz in fifth, Sebastian Job sixth, Michael Shelbach seventh, Simon Field eighth, Chapelewski ninth and Smolensky in 10th. Right, so we've not got that long now before the start of the race. Just quickly to mention that GT Omega have a new sponsor today. It's Mike's Pad, which is a gaming blog. It's mikespadblog.wordpress.com, and we'll try and get some more information over to you as we go, but try. Adam, of course it's the home of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a fantastic circuit, and it's one of the best of the calendar for me.
Well, yeah, we've seen some brilliant races here over the last few seasons. One that sticks out was all the way back in season 5, Wojciech Savidovic beating Adej Koba Lopez by, I think it was it 2 thousandths of a second or 4? I think it was 4 thousandths of a second at the line. It was a brilliant victory, and it shows just the run you can get out of that final corner, the Junsao, all the way out through the left-hander and then down the straight. You're going to see a lot of slipstreaming there, and I think it was the main talking point in qualifying. We saw loads of cars clubbing together just to get the best possible run, and it helped them get where they were on the grid. A fantastic job by Julian Janowski to get fourth on the grid. It's going to be a very tough job for Sebastian Job, 5 points behind Wojciech Savidovic going into this race meeting after having a very good race meeting at Okayama. He's going to have to gain all of those places back to make sure that Savidovic doesn't get those points on him straight away in this first race.
Yeah, exactly, and we're not... Obviously the drivers, they want to finish the races. I think race one, that's what it's all about. It's all about just getting to the end, and as Wojciech Savidovic takes to the grid, we're going to have a start very, very shortly here at Interlagos. So, it's an uphill start, it's potentially tricky into the downhill Senna S. We often see pile-ups here, but will there be one today? Hopefully not. Hopefully it'll be a good clean fight. So, now the revs are rising here at Interlagos. 33 Kia Optimas. The green light is on, and Rushworth gets a great start once again. Savidovic struggles to get away, and it might leave Rushworth alongside the GT Omega car, the Engineer Direct car as it goes into turn 1. Down the inside goes Jamie Rushworth. 2 former champions side by side through these centre S's. Turn 2 and then turn 3. Now Rushworth trying to stay in that slipstream. These two already breaking slightly clear, Adam.
Yeah, it was a good start from both of them on the front row. Jamie Fluke tried to get in the action as well, but now he's going into pressure from Andreas Katz. Those two are side by side as we head towards Casino del Lago for the first time. Down the inside goes the Season 8 champion, the reigning series champion Andreas Katz, trying to get into the top 3 already.
John's going to make it 3 wide. That's going to be trouble. Very, very narrow section up towards Ferradura, but is he going to get that place on Katz? Katz needs to come into the corner. And through the right-hander goes the German, and he stays in 4th position. Excellent work from him. Fluke in a good 3rd. Janowski Shellback has got ahead of his teammate Janowski into what is now 6th place, I believe.
Yeah, not a good start from Janowski. Started on the second row of the grid, already lost 3 places. That's not what he wants, however. He's going to have a great opportunity to get some of those places back. We're going through this left-hander and up to Jun Xiao, and then it is the long run back down towards the Senna S to start lap number 2, and there will be a lot of slipstreaming here. Let's see what kind of run Sebastian Job is going to get. He was very close with Andreas Katz on lap number 1. And what about Rushworth? Could he get the lead back as well?
Rushworth looks like he's in a good position to try and get that lead back from Wojciech Savidovic, and past the pit entry, tucked right into the slipstream, and he's going to go for the inside. No, he's not. And maybe a wise move on the first lap, Adam. You don't want to get into contact. Oh, there is some contact. I heard it.
Yes, Simon Field and Michael Shellback.
Fields all the way off.
Don't know who it was there that was trying to make the move, but
Shellback and Smolensky as well, side by side there.
I'll just have a look back and see what happened. It was.
Is Baker going to make it 3 wide here?
I was just looking back at the incident. It was Janowski getting into Field, turning him sideways, and then he just collects Shellback going into the Senna S.
Baker looks like he's going to try and get Shellback as well. Dave Baker in 10th. He's going to try and get 9th place off Mikhail Shellback towards Ferradura, and Shellback's a bit wide. This is going to allow the season 7 champion through. Oh, bit of contact.
And down the inside he goes.
Down the inside he does go, and down the inside he stays, and he takes 9th place.
Jamie Fluke now closing onto the back of Rushworth. So we've got a 3-car battle for the lead here, and I bet you Andreas Katz will use the slipstream this time around to join onto that as well. So we could pretty soon have about a 5-car train for this race lead. Out of Junsao we go once again up the top towards the top of the hill, where Fernando Alonso and Mark Webber had huge crashes here back in 2003 in the wet. It's dry here now, and as we head down the straight towards the Senna S, who's going to have the best possible slipstream this time?
Doesn't look like anybody's really that close to making a move. It looks like Job now is going to try and take the advantage on Andreas Katz. Is he going to break later than the former champion, the reigning champion? No, he doesn't, and Katz stays in 4th place. Rushworth's got a terrific run through turn 2. If he can maintain it through 3, we may see a move into turn 4, Adam.
Here we go then, out of the left-hander. Savidovic trying to maintain the lead. Rushworth not looking down the inside yet, so Savidovic got a good exit there, but no way through yet for the Season 4 champion. Don't forget, we are on lap number 3, still 11 laps to go in this race. Just biding their time, and maybe it's better really to stay behind, Andrew.
Do you think that's what Job's doing? Do you think he's hoping for Katz to pull him towards this lead group?
Well,
maybe this is the only chance he has to win.
He can still see Savidovic, and that's all he needs to do really. Just make sure that he's definitely in sight of the Season 6 champion, and then if anything arises, he definitely has the possibility to pounce and get those positions. We're only through the top 10 then. Savidovic leads, Rushworth, Fluke in 3rd, Katz is in 4th position, Job in 5th, and in 6th place it's Julian Janowski, Alex Smolensky is in 7th, David Baker in 8th, Pete Newman in 9th, and then Dan Hunt rounding out the top 10. As down the inside goes Ashley Sutton on Michael Shellback. Shellback's been losing positions lap after lap at the moment.
Sutton get there so quickly?
Sutton started yeah, he started all the way in 33rd place, right at the back, and down the inside he goes.
Make that 12th, or make that 9th. No, that is 12th still. Shellback's actually come back through again. Did he give him a little tap?
Yeah, and now here. Yeah, Colin Cunniff.
Cunniff on the outside, and then Kaiser's there as well. So Shellback for GT Omega. Sutton, I don't know how he found the gap there near the Armco barrier, but they're going to go 3 wide down the main straight and into the Senna S, Adam.
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster. They all sorted all out. They were still side by side. Cunniff will have the inside for turn 2. Shellback gives him the room, and Cunniff is now.
Cunniff had to compromise turn 2, and now he's going to have a terrible run through the Curva de Sol, and Shellback is going to force his way to the inside possibly. But Cunniff, is he going to be late on the brakes into the Interlagos?
Very good on the brake set, but Shellback still piling on the pressure. Just an update, Sebastian Job up into 4th place. He has got past Andreas Katz. But this battle is the one we're focusing on. Kaiser keeping a watchful eye there in 14th place. Rob Fag behind him, and then Russell Layla with Laura Bond at the back of this train. Fu Ferradura and up towards the tight and twisty section of the lap. Down the inside goes Kaiser. Gives him a bit of a nudge.
Dutchman in the engine all direct car. Oh, and Shellback, I think he's focused on making a good job as a panel beater there, because he's there's not one straight bit on that GT Mega car. The Eurochip digital car going around the outside now. That's Robert Fag.
Yeah, Kaiser just didn't get a good run out of Pico to Pato there, and Fag was just there to take the position. So Fag up to 14th, Kaiser down to 15th. And if he's not too careful, he's got that GT Mega car, Russell Layla, trying to get past him as well. Rob Fag doesn't get a good run though, out of Juncel there.
Yeah, Russell Layla with the Mike's Pad sponsorship on his car, and your own Kaiser now trying to make himself at home in 13th. Well, get back his 14th place actually that he's just lost to Robert Fag. Can the Dutchman do it on the Eurochip digital driver into turn 1?
It's been a change for position as well up front. Sebastian Jobs now into the top 3, past Jamie Fluke. Don't know how it happened. I presume it was down the inside into the centre S. Yes, it was.
Oh, Fluke misses his braking point and turns Job around slightly. Job saves it, Fluke backs off, and no damage done.
Dan Hunt's just got past David Baker, and David Baker's lost a few positions, and that's because Pete Newman and Ashley Sutton have forced their way through. There might be a bit of contact with Janowski, because Janowski has dropped back a few positions as well, and is about to lose another one to Colin Cunniff, and Sutton's just got past his teammate Pete Newman.
Yeah, as indeed, he has now got into, it's like 9th place actually already, and he's nearly got a tap off Pete Newman there. Alex Simpson is with us. Are you there, mate?
Yeah, I'm here, just keep it quiet in the background, too much going on really.
No technical issues, all sorted, good to go?
Yeah, we're all good now, streaming on Twitch as well, sorry about that fellas. Yeah, just missed, well, we didn't miss the start, we were there for the start, but had to rush the intro a little bit.
How are we enjoying the race so far?
Yeah, great race so far. I think there's a lot going on at the front and further back in the mid-pack as well, and even towards the back there's epic battles going on for 24th through to about 30th as well. They're about second separate those 5 cars, so it's just where do you look at the minute?
Yeah, it's that group headed by Stephen Burke, I believe, isn't it? And it's Steve Hefford there and Paul Smith are in that group, and then the group behind, Steve Richardson, Stellan Chepelevsky, Robert Plumley, John Roberts, Scott Malcolm and Ben Palmer, they're all in one group together. Adam, Centre S is definitely the preferred overtaking spot, and a lot of guys showing good bravery on the brakes down there.
Yeah, they are. One of them being David Baker. He's just got past Colin Cunniff, or has he? They're side by side, and yeah, we've been seeing it so far. The slipstream working brilliantly down that front straight, and then guys like Sebastian Job hard on the brakes as Cunniff nearly puts 2 wheels into the grass into Casino del Lago, and that means he's going to run out wide onto that green coloured tarmac on the exit, and that allows Janowski through into 11th position.
Yeah, good work from Janowski. He's starting 4th. He did drop back quite a bit, but he's kept the car clean. It looks like he's kept the tyres in good order, and the Bulgarian is trying to make his way back forward as well. It looks like he's got some damage on there actually, so I wonder if he took a bit of a knock. Ash Sutton's flying, isn't he? He's overtaken Daniel Hunt. He started 33rd, Alex, and he's now only about 8 seconds off the lead. Astonishing.
Ash is literally, I mean, we talk about him every time he races. I think he is the best on the brakes in this car. Not even, we talk about Joe being pretty competitive on the brakes, but I don't think he comes close to Ash. And a place like Interlagos that really comes into its own, and he's absolutely flying.
Battle for second down the front straight. Joe looking down the inside of Rushworth. Sebastian Job's been taking positions hand over fist these last few laps. Rushworth though is late on the brakes, and those two are going to be side by side through the centre S. Will Rushworth nudge it back down the inside? He tries, but he can't hold back Sebastian Job, who is now through into second position after starting from 6th on the grid.
This could still be profitable for Jamie Rushworth, as he may still be able to maintain that second place. He goes to the inside line, but it's very difficult to outbrake Sebastian into Casino del Lago. Rushworth got a nice run through there. Can he hound the Apex Racing TV car going up the hill towards Ferradura?
Been a good show by the New Homes digital cars. Good to see Jamie Fluke back up there. He had a good run back at Watkins Glen earlier in the season, and now he's back inside the top 5, helping out his teammate Jamie Rushworth, who is inside the top 3 as well.
Wide in the middle of the pack. Kaiser, Laidler, Robert Fang. They were 3 wide and absolutely knocking spots off each other. Kaiser and Laidler banging door handles.
Well, that's very close. Yeah, down the inside goes Kaiser, lays on the brakes. Is he going to make the corner?
Rob Fang's going to go through on Laidler. He's round the outside at the bottom of that tight section in the middle of the lap and into Vico Pato. And
got the temptation.
Yes.
The temptation through that left-hander going up towards Vico Pato just to nudge the cast on your outside sideways.
Oh goodness me.
Yeah.
Rob Fang there. Oh dear.
Simon Field just sending.
Well, he's gone.
Completely gone, yeah.
Disqualified as well.
I think that was just. Do you know what? In a way, that was kind of lucky because I have to feel that could have been a big nasty crash there. There was a few cars coming, but yeah, Rob just disappeared in time.
Laura Bond trying to overtake Simon Field after that little tete-a-tete he had with Rob Fang. But Field's a bit later on the brakes than Pete Newman Media Car. Yeah, it's a good run for New Homes Digital. Fluke, Rushworth 3rd, Fluke 4th. Bond 17th, Stevens 18th, and Richardson 24th. It's a pretty good showing from them, and that's one of the best, I think, Adam, this season from New Homes.
Yeah, they didn't make the showdown, and I think they were a bit disappointed over that, not going for the big money, but they are doing a very good job. Yeah, third and fourth, at the moment. We'll also keep an eye out for you on the drivers in the showdown. Savidovic, of course, leading, Sebastian Job 2nd, Jamie Rushworth 3rd. So showdown drivers 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Then in 4th in the standings, it's Alex Smolensky. He is there in 6th. And Kip Stevens. Stevens is he's not in the top 15. He's down 18th. In 18th place. So he'll be hoping, like he did at Okayama, for a reverse grid.
But he has moved forward 5 places since the start, so he's definitely pushing pretty hard, is Kip Stevens. He's catching his teammate Laura Bond, who's actually with Simon Field still. They just dropped off this pack with Laidler, Kaiser and Shellback, so if they can get onto that pack, still might be half a chance. 13 lap race, this is lap 8. We're about to start lap 9 here on Apex Racing TV and on iRacing Live and on Motors TV. Wojciech Svidovic is about half a second in front, actually Job closing in slightly, and Rushworth under a bit of pressure from Fluke. Alex, we've seen these two battle at the front many times. Do you see anything different today?
No, I don't think so. It's more of what we've been having all season. You know, just great racing from these guys, and it's interesting how close both the Jamies are as well. They've been extremely close on pace all season. It's good to see them out there sitting 3rd and 4th and keeping Svidovic and Job, on their toes. They can't afford to battle too hard, otherwise they're going to get swallowed up by the New Home Digital's cars there.
If you get Fluke in the car for a whole season, Adam, in 2016, you have to admit he's going to probably make the showdown. Sorry, what was that? No,
Sutton, I think,
Sutton,
just got Smolensky. I thought for a moment Smolensky was fighting back, but no, Sutton just completes the move there, and up and into 6th place now.
Ashley Sutton are nearly he's gained 27 positions in this race, and the wide flowing nature of the Interlagos circuit really allows for some great overtakes like Ashley Sutton's been doing during this race.
I would not have expected though 33rd to 6th in race 1.
Definitely not, yeah.
I would have thought that would actually be impossible without a safety car, and Ashley Sutton has done a fantastic job.
Well, the thing is, we saw at Okayama how difficult it was to overtake. Basically, when the reverse grid draw happened, I don't think many of the drivers gained more than 5 positions during race 2s and 3. I was seeing the opposite of that.
Smolensky hasn't given up this P6. He's trying to get a run, he's trying to use the high part of the track to get a bit of momentum and get that Laser Tools car to come down the hill slightly on Ashley Sutton and see if he can almost collecting each other coming down the main straight. But Smolensky, is he going to go for the outside line? It's going to be very difficult for him to outbrake Sutton. And
Hunt nearly pokes his nose in there.
Not quite. 3 blue cars from 3 different teams fighting back, and there's a 4th blue car almost in the picture as well, Pete Newman. But you mentioned the battle for the lead is raging.
Yeah, only 1/10 of a second separated them across the line last time, and Savidovic had to do some quite aggressive defending. Job was 0.3 of a second quicker than Wojciech Savidovic last time around. However, there's another change for position. Hunt has now got past Smolenski. So Smolenski's lost another position there.
Yeah, Job right with Savidovic, and actually this is a bit like Circuit of the Americas, isn't it? Where I mean, Job I think has been faster throughout the entire race, and seems to have kept the tyres in good order. So Alex, there must be a good setup on that Impix Racing TV car this week.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I haven't seen them do an awful lot of testing, I have to say. Maybe they just had something already and they were like, right, we can't find anything, and just went with that. But yeah, the car's looking really good over the long run there, and it's unusual. It's normally the other way around, isn't it? Svidovic closing in on Job towards the end of the stint. So there's 4 laps to go. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Maybe the fact they did no practice, Andrew. Maybe we're seeing Sebastian Job learning the track as the race progresses, and now he's right with, and he's right. Well, he's quicker at the moment.
Scary is that, isn't it?
Great battle going on further back that I'm just watching right now. This is 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th. So that is that's Kaiser, Shellback, Laidler, Simon Field, Laura Bond, Kip Stevens, and yeah, that's it. Kip Stevens is the last car on the group.
So Laidler and Shellback side by side, and Bond and Field. So it's 2 by 2 here, Alex.
Yeah, it's great. They're just trying to sort themselves out. I think actually they're all going to... Oh, who was that just touched? That was Phil. He's got a little bit of damage on the right-hand side of his Pneumo Media car there, and he just touched the grass on braking there. He had to sort of correct that pretty rapidly, but actually give him quite a nice line, and he's got a good run maybe this time on Shellback. Let's see if he ducks out of the slipstream and has a move down into...
Wow.
Oh, that damage on Shellback's car must be... It must be hurting
to the front.
Yeah,
sorry guys.
Yeah, round Fioradura, Sebastian Job tried to get it done round the outside, and I thought he had it done, but Savidovic was able to put his nose back down the inside on the exit of Ferradura and managed to hold on to the lead just. But Sebastian Job is definitely ruffling Savidovic's feathers
and
now.
Into the hip, and he gets very close. And now through Magulho, which is a very, very difficult downhill left-hander in these cars. It's not, might be flat out, but very, very tough. Job gets a good exit out of Yulshao.
We get 2 laps to go when we get to the line then.
So does Wojciech Savidovic, Adam.
Yeah, 4/10 of a second then is the gap between them at this moment in time. We'll see how much it goes down through the slipstream as we come across the line. We're going to get the white flag when we get back to the line. 2 laps to go. Savidovic just in front. Job, though, has been getting good runs out of the centre S. He was all over the back of the Engine Oils Direct car last time around. He puts a lot of wheels over those curbs. Better be careful he doesn't get a slowdown. But now we're going to see, can Sebastian Job get a good run through this long left-hander at turn 2 and down towards Casino del Lago?
Yeah, a little bit. Alex, I wonder if we could go on board with Job for a second and see what this the view of the lead battle is.
And indeed,
because then we can see exactly what both men are doing. This titanic squabble for the lead.
Does look like Wojciech's got great exits on the car there. Just seemed to pull away a little bit there, and like you saw in the last corner, and even coming out of the centre S, he just pulled a little bit of a gap. So
it's slower in, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe just carrying a tiny little bit more downforce.
Oh, is he hitting
maybe?
It there?
It was close, but I didn't hear anything.
No, I didn't either, and it looks like you can't possibly get 2 Kia Optimas closer together, Adam, than that.
No, very close indeed there. And this, of course, is for the championship. 5 points separating these two going into this race meeting. I think Savidovic will gain 10 points or so if he finishes in front of Job. So Job knows he has to stop the gap from getting bigger in this first race. And the best...
Of course, Savidovic was on pole position.
Savidovic on pole position, he'll be getting points for that. And now here we go then, much closer this time, only 2/10 of a second separating them. Here we go then, down towards the line for the white flag. We could even have a photo finish on our hands if the cap's just as similar as this next time. Savidovic covering the inside line though.
Me.
Who's going to be later on the brakes? They are side by side.
It's Savidovic who's later on the brakes then. Into the first part of the centre S, and he carries just enough speed through the first part. The Job can't cut back for the second part. So we're on the final lap here at Interlagos. It's the British Sim Racers Touring Car Pro Series. From Interlagos, Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache.
Gets a good run. Savidovic is going to cover the inside line.
Oh.
There's no way through.
Alex, this is great. Oh, and he's going round the outside of turn 4, the Casino del Lago. Savidovic carries a lot of speed through the middle of the corner, and he cuts across him taking his life into his hands there.
This is proper racing for a championship
Job
here.
on
Around
the
the outside
outside.
it goes again.
A Ferradura.
Cut
But
back.
again, it's that apex speed of Savinovic, Adam, that's keeping him in the lead.
Only just. And I think we're setting ourselves up for a mouth-watering climax here to the race one here at Interlagos. Up to Bico de Pato. Sebastian Job 0.3 of a second behind. He'll definitely close up under braking. It's all going to be about that exit out of Junsao.
Alex, it's great skill from these two guys.
Great driving. They're the best in this car, and they're showing there. I mean, there's no room for error there as Savinovic cut across.
Job has overshot Yunchao slightly, and Savinovic could have that could be the one that does it.
Yeah, 4/10 is the gap, so I'm pretty sure there won't be enough for a draft. If he was 2/10, he might have had a chance.
Let's see then, as he comes down towards the line, it's going to be, surely as he passed the pit entry, Wojciech Savinovic is going to take the first race of the evening under some great pressure from Sebastian Job. Jamie Rushworth in third, Jamie Fluke in fourth. That was a very close fight as well. Andreas Katz in
Great
fifth.
battle going on further back. Sutton and Hunt side by side. Who knows?
Just got sixth place by just 0.03 of a second.
Let's have a look at another battle that's going on as well. This is Laidler and Kaiser. That was side by side. Don't want to call that one either.
It was Laidler by...
It's Kaiser.
Kaiser, yeah, by 0.05 of a second.
Oh dear.
Bit of post-race reaction there. It's like...
Laidler
Oh
got...
God, did he get disqualified there because of
did
that?
after the line, yeah, but I'm sure the organisers will keep it. 15th, Laura Bond. 16th, Kip Stevens. Fields got 17th in the end after starting in 8th, so not good for him. Stelian Chepelevsky in 18th. 19th.
What happened to Cheppy then? Because he started in 9th place.
Probably must have been involved in some incidents on the first lap.
Job says he would have had the clean race bonus point as well, but he got an off track on that very last lap.
Ah, what a shame.
What a first race then. The two championship contenders battling it out. That's what the BSRTC is all about.
I'm right there, and tremendous first race. We always like to see the race one on a Thursday because it shows us where everybody is, and where everybody is extremely close together. I'll run you through the finishing order then, and it was Savinovic who won the race by 0.292 from Sebastian Job. It was that one corner really that won it for Savinovic, and that exit traction was paramount for him. Rushworth in third, then Jamie Fluke in fourth, Katz fifth, Ash Sutton sixth, Dan Hunt seventh, and Alex Smolensky in eighth. Ninth for Pete Newman ahead of David Baker. Then it's Julian Janowski in 11th, with Colin Cunniff in 12th. Jeroen Kaiser just beat Russell Laidler to the line for 13th. Laura Bond and Kip Stevens were 15th and 16th for New Homes Digital. Simon Field was 17th. Stelian Chepelevsky was 18th for GT Omega. And Shellback was 19th. Hefford was 20th for Eurochip Digital. Ben Palmer in 21st. And then it was Paul Smith for STEM Sim Racing. Not a great day for them. Smith in 22nd behind his teammate. Then Malcolm in 23rd for Laser Tools, Scott Malcolm. Richard Gore in 24th. He dropped down a bit for Apex TV. Steve Richardson in 25th. Andrew Whitehead 26th. Then it was the Laser Tools car of Robert Graham was the last car on the lead lap. We lost John Roberts, Rob Plumley, Stephen Burke, Dan Blake, Rob Fagg and Jake Blackall. Adam, that was cracking.
Yeah, thank you for reading the long list. Usually it's
I thought I'd give you a break this time.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic first race. Savinovic and Joe battling out like it should always be, and Rushworth, great to see him back up there, and he's definitely doing what he needs to do to stay involved in the championship. He was third going into this race, 52 points behind, and he shouldn't be too far away going into race 2. Fluke as well in 4th, Katz in 5th. Katz will probably leap ahead of Stevens and Smolensky in the points. But it's all about that reverse grid now for the second race, and that's going to add another extra dimension to this race meeting. Cars eligible, as always, are 15 down to 26, and they are Laura Bond, Kip Stevens, Simon Field, Stelian Chepelevsky, Michael Shellback, Steve Hefford, Ben Palmer, Paul Smith, Scott Malcolm, Richard Gore, Steve Richardson, and Andrew Whitehead. Who's going to be on pole position though, Alex? Over to you with the Wheel of Fortune.
Here we go then for the first time for tonight. Who's it going to be?
Where's the drum roll? You should have a drum roll already.
Oh, we'll have to add that next time. I think it's going to be 15th. Yeah, it's not even going to get anywhere near 25th. We've had some close ones in recent weeks, but slam dunk 15th, pretty small one.
Yeah, so Kip Stevens Chepelevsky won't be happy about that because that means
Will it
they're
be
stuck down
Stevens
there.
though? Because Kaiser was 13th, wasn't he? So
Yeah,
we're gonna have to double check that because
Kaiser
there was a
finished
disqualification after the line, wasn't there?
I'm sure that they'll. Oh yeah, I don't know whether the organisers will uphold that. Well, we'll see what happens anyway. It means
Jeroen's the man who does the scores, so I guess if he wants to uphold it, he will.
Laura Bond then will start on pole position. Laidler will start second. Kaiser third. Cunniff fourth, and Janowski in fifth. And if
it's going to be a New Homes digital car.
Yeah, it's going to be a New Homes digital car, but I'm sure that Kip Stevens will be hoping that he gets the pole position. Well, if Ashley Sutton
won the Swiss Championship battle.
Yeah, it will, definitely, and it's what helps him at Okayama getting that race 2 victory. It's going to be if Ashley Sutton can gain 27 spots or so in race 1. I'm sure that we're going to be seeing Savinovic, Katz, Rushworth and Joe scything their way through the pack in race 2.
I think you're being a bit... I don't think we can really quantify just how good that drive from Ashley Sutton was. I don't think the rest of them can do that.
It's all going to be in mumble actually. It would have been good to have a word with him, but perhaps we ought to bring the race leader down, just have a quick
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
The race winner, sorry.
Wojciech Savinovic joins us in the commentary box. Wojciech, that was a fantastic battle with you and Sebastian Job. You were just able to take the victory at the end.
Yes, I'm quite happy with my performance. I wasn't really expecting that. Seb was getting through the field as always impressively. I thought I'm next, but yeah, I managed to hold him off.
Race 2 then, a small reverse grid, only 15 cars. How far forward do you think you can get? Because there's probably going to be more overtaking spots here than at Okayama.
Okay, top 15, that's actually good news because minimum targets already achieved. Hopefully the always target is to finish top 15 in race 2. Definitely there's more opportunities than in Okayama to pass. We'll see how it works. Yeah, Seb's probably gonna be getting through the pack quite quickly. And I'm gonna try to follow.
Brilliant. Well, Alex, go on.
Well, I was going to say, I just wanted to know, is that your motivational music in the background there?
Oh, is it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. My wife is watching TV there.
It seemed to work. A treat. Congratulations. I just want to say, do you know when Seb was side by side there, and you moved across? We've seen so many times this season drivers just coming across and catching their rear quarter panel, and you were so close to getting caught exactly the same there. I mean, I guess you got the all clear from the spotter, but sometimes we know that doesn't necessarily mean all clear. I guess it was a case of you knew you had to defend the inside there, or it was sort of all over.
Pretty much, yeah, but you could see this in the mirrors. Once you get used to that, you kind of can judge that and assess that. Yeah, I was 99% that it will gonna work, and it worked.
I have to say, you measured it to perfection, so yeah, well done. We all cringed when you started to come over thinking, oh no, don't take yourself out, but yeah, no, it was excellent driving, so congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, thanks for that.
Well done again to Wojciech Savinovic, and Alex, it was a really precise and controlled drive there.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Can't say anything bar that. Didn't make a mistake all race. Come under a little bit of pressure from Rushworth at the very start. Managed to get that lead back pretty much in sort of turn 1-2 straight away, and then he was able to slowly pull away. Seb did a great job as well in second, but so did the New Home Digital guys, but just didn't quite have the pace as the front two, and we saw that with the gap starting to open up at the end, and that's really what I think let Seb have a go. I don't think he would have made too many attempts at a pass till perhaps the very last lap, had they still been close, because it could have could have bit him quite badly and ended up sort of 4th or 5th place. So yeah, those two very, very quick. And yeah, Katz, I was a bit surprised where Katz was really. Just he got up to 5th place and then sort of stalled a little bit. Didn't really gain any more places.
Well, running through the championship standings then, at the end of this first race, Wojciech Savidovic now leads Sebastian Joe by 15 points, so he's gained 10 points on him by finishing ahead of him. Third is Jamie Rushworth, 67 points back. Andreas Katz is now up into 4th, ahead of Alex Smolensky in 5th. Kip Stevens now down to 6th. David Baker 7th, Dan Hunt 8th, 1 point ahead of Pete Newman in 9th. And then Simon Field, who didn't do too well in race 1, finished in 17th place, down in 10th, with Chepelevsky with a lot of work to do, down in 11th.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for him, but it still, you know, it gives him a chance, I suppose, to move forward at some point, I suppose. Right, it was a very, very good first round at Interlagos. We had thrills and spills, and we had, you know, a little bit of controversy, a little bit of few close finishes and some great driving. So we will see you after this break. Don't go anywhere, because we've got 2 rounds left tonight here on Motors TV, iRacing Live and Apex Racing TV. It's goodbye from Interlagos, but we'll see you the other side of this commercial break, so stay with us.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun, But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the BSRTC Pro Series Showdown. We're at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for this rounds 92 and 93 to come of the BSRTC Pro Series. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson with us. And Alex, I'll bring you in this time first, as you were a bit delayed into race one, and obviously it was a great race. This is going to be interesting to see how the championship contenders can deal with this reverse grid again.
Yeah, absolutely. That was an awesome race. More of the same, please, gentlemen. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that, and trying to keep up with it on the cameras was it was tricky to say the least. But yeah, it's great. I think 15-car reverse grid. It's going to be tough for the guys. They're not slow in and around that top 15. Although, as we saw, it is doable. Ash made some great moves and moved up very, very quickly at the start. Slowed down a little bit towards the end, and I think that's what people like Seb, Wodge, and Katz and the two Jamies are going to have to deal with pretty much straight away. So it's going to be tough for them, but it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. Good for Wojciech to come out on top of Sebastian, I thought, in that race as well, because he needs to. It's been sort of a bit of a Sebastian's show the last few rounds, and he certainly closed a lot of points up. So to build that lead up again, that's just what he needs to help sort of boost his confidence.
Yeah, you can't help but mention Job Adam when he's driving so well, but Savidovic has resisted that so far.
Yes, he has, and it was great to see him just able to hold on to that race lead. I'm sure I thought at one point they were going to come to blows and go off the exit Casino Interlagos on the last lap, but yeah, Savidovic did a fantastic job to win, and of course that means he is now ahead in the standings, 15 points now Wojciech Swiatovic leads over Sebastian Job. Jamie Rushworth's in third. Andreas Katz is now in fourth, 4 points ahead of Alex Smolensky in fifth. Then it's Kip Stevens in sixth. David Baker 2 points behind him in seventh. Then 5 points back to Dan Hunt in eighth. Only 1 point then between Hunt and Newman in ninth. And then Field is in 10th with Chepelevsky in 11th. Only 138 points back. Let's not forget, as Andrew Whitehead goes for many roles into the pits, only 138 points between Chepelevsky and Sviatovic. That's not much, considering Sviatovic had about a 500-point lead before the showdown.
Yeah, nobody's out of this championship so far. And Alex, I believe you have the ES Trophy standings for us.
Yeah, just looking at them now, I mean, that's absolute dead heat at the top of that championship right now. Richard Gore and Paul Smith absolutely tied there, so 10,345 points apiece. So if we thought the Pro Championship was close, well, this is even closer. Laura Bond moved herself up into third place, just the 59 points back as well, so she needs to have a good run now. John Roberts unfortunately got involved in somebody else's accident in that first race. He drops down to fourth. It's been said that John was sort of leading it by miles at the start of this season. Just goes to show what can happen in the showdown. Steve Burke is in fifth place, and then the wild card of Steve Richardson is in sixth place. Sorry, he wasn't the wild card, was he? But 192 points back, so he needs to really start to step it up if he's going to get anything out of this championship.
There was a time, I think, when John Roberts was in the Pro top 10.
He was easily within the top 10 at one point, yeah.
So yeah.
Seventh.
Well, let's run you through the grid then. For this, so we'll run you through the grid for the second race of the evening, which will be getting underway in about
Haven't got long.
a minute. On pole position, that's good, it's only 15 cars then. On pole position, it is Laura Bond, Russell Laidler second, Sharon Kaiser third, Colin Cunniff fourth, Julian Janowski fifth, David Baker sixth in his customary sixth position there, seventh Pete Newman, eighth Alex Smolensky, ninth Dan Hunt, 10th Ashley Sutton, 11th is Andreas Katz, 12th Jamie Fluke, 13th Jamie Rushworth, 14th Sebastian Job, 15th Wojciech Sviatovic, 16th Kip Stevens, 17th Simon Field, 18th Stelin Chepelevsky, 19th Michael Sherbach, and 20th it is Steve Hefford. 21st Ben Palmer, 22nd Paul Smith, 23rd Scott Malcolm, 24th Richard Gore, 25th Steve Richardson, 26th Andrew Whitehead, 27th Robert Graham, 28th John Roberts, 29th Robert Plumley, and then 30th Stephen Burke, 31st Dan Blake, 32nd Robert Fagg, and then right at the back 33rd Jake Blackhall.
Yeah, Blackhall, something happened there. I don't know if he took the start of the last race. Of course, GT Mega Racing sponsored for this race by Mike's Pad blogs, mikespad.wordpress.com, and of course go there for some gaming news and opinion. So
Jake, Andrew was actually one of the cars that took flight right at the back of the grid on the first lap. We didn't mention it on air, but there was a pretty nasty crash right at the back.
So we're almost ready then. For race 2 to burst into life here at Interlagos. The green light is on. Barely even start at the front. And Bond looks like she's going to be able to get into turn 1 first. But Laidler's very late on the brakes and he slams. He's lost control. And actually Bond loses control a little bit as well, not to the extent of Laidler. But slightly cooler conditions here, and it proves it tricky down those Sonorestes.
Yeah, track temperature's gone down by 10 degrees or so in the second race, and Laura Bond and Russell Laidler look like they got caught out just a little bit there. Side by side, Sutton already on the move, side by side with a Laser Tools car, and he's down the inside, and he is through. Who was that? That was getting past Smolensky.
Hunt and Smolensky in 4 corners, and he's going to get Baker in the 5th corner of the lap as well. Ashley Sutton is flying.
So quick, and if he makes up the same sort of place as he does in the early laps in this race, well, he'll be at the front in about half a lap.
He nearly lost it there, and Baker almost got through, but Sutton's actually cut the course, I think, there. Cunniff's having trouble. Started 4th, Colin Cunniff. He's gone down to 5th. Kaiser and Janowski side by side, and they're both going for the inside. of the hairpin together, and Janowski actually makes that one work. He's up to third place. Great start from the GT Mega driver. Oh, and Kaiser, he's trying to make sure that the great start turns into a bit of a nightmare. Cunnif's wide, Yun Xiao.
Job and Svidovic hit each other. Job slipping down the order, major problems for him.
Through Yun Xiao comes Sutton, and the 3 wide. Alex will just cover this little bit of action
on the
first.
grass.
As I know it's not relevant to the championship, but very, very exciting nevertheless. Sutton and Kaiser over the line, but it could be massive implications there between Job and Svidovic. 3 wide, Baker, Cunniff and Janowski behind as well. Sutton dives through on Kaiser. Kaiser's fighting back. Oh, goodness me!
Yeah, I'm not sure that. Well, I guess that is fighting back there.
Take that, you idiot!
Yeah, have that.
That's a 4x. If there's one thing we can say, so Job and Svidovic,
Job in the pit lane, and no fast
there?
repairs in the showdown as well, so this has got huge
Race
implications.
Race over effectively for Sebastian Job. Wojciech Svidovic, let's see.
It was on the exit of Biko to Pato. Job was taking a wide line.
Oh,
Job gets into Fluke. Job gets into Fluke. Fluke turns across, hits. Almost, it was almost like
Svidovic who hit Job. It was Fluke actually.
It was
Just
almost like
across the front of Svidovic.
It was almost like the '94 Brazilian Grand Prix where Irvine turns across and then poor Martin Brundle gets hit on the head.
I'm actually just trying to get there now. Sorry, on
Newman.
replay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex. Newman just punted Janowski off. I don't know if it was a punt or not, but that's what I still saw the back end of that. They got together. Janowski's in the fence. That's probably his race. That's his race well and truly over.
I've got found the replay. Sorry, so they were side by side. It all started off down in turn 4, I think, but then we're sort of through the infield section at the moment. They're side by side, and I think somebody else is going to kick in here. Obviously, they're desperate to stay in front of each other. Oh, and they're 3 wide. It looks like Svidovic. Oh dear, what a disaster. Yeah, so Job was around the outside of Svidovic going into the second of the hairpins. Yeah, Job race well and truly done. He's cartwheeling all over the place, and he went to the outside of Katz. Let's get back live while I sort of explain what that was going on there. And Svidovic just sort of did he try and put his nose in between the two of them? Maybe not. I just think that was probably caught by surprise with Katz perhaps braking a little early with the traffic there. And there was just a little bit of contact, and then of course they were 3 wide with the New Homes digital car as well, and that come across Svidovic straight into Job, and yeah, Job flying. So absolute golden for Svidovic.
Something that looked like was happening in those first couple of laps, Alex. It looked like a few people might have got slowdowns, and the closing speed was was making it 3 wide in some cases. It's Kaiser and Bond just banging wheel arches there, and to be fair, Bond was trying to go around the outside of Laidler in Ferradura. It didn't work, and then Kaiser went up the inside. Now Bond's gone off, and that'll allow Sutton through, and probably Dave Baker as well on the outside of Mugulo. And Baker's through. Good move by Dave.
They got to 4th position then from 6th on the grid. Next it's Colin Cunniff.
Guys in Sutton round 2's coming up, Adam, as well, so keep your eyes on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go then, down the front straight. Sutton, who got past Kaiser legitimately a lap ago, but Kaiser said no to that last time. Almost like Montoya and Schumacher here back in 2001. Down the inside then into the first corner. Kaiser too late.
Hit each other too hard.
And somehow he avoids hitting the back of Laidlaw. I thought he was going to fly into the back of that GT Omega car.
Sutton's gone across the second corner slightly, and it looked like he cut the course slightly there, but he might have got away with it. Maybe just 2 wheels on that sort of grass crete on the inside. But it's Sutton now on the brakes into Interlagos. Have that, because Ashley Sutton, and rightly so, Alex, I think.
Yeah, that's a great move, and that just absolutely shows how good he is on the brakes. Yeah. Kaiser's no slouch. He's very, very quick as well, and it just looked like he braked about a mile too early there.
Don't let the baby pink car fool you, boys. He's very, very fast driver.
Back in season 6, I think Ashley Sutton became a maestro of winning race 2s, and it looks like he's on his way to doing that. Former teammate there in front of him.
He's got wide there though, and that might mean Kaiser can come up the inside again. Kaiser doesn't want to get disqualified here, Alex, for the team championship. He's going to get disqualified if there's another one.
Yeah, that's 3 little contacts that we've seen him at. I guess it's probably just a
Big
0
one, and
out.
Sutton just goes back into the side of Kaiser. And to be honest, these two are bringing it on themselves here.
And Baker now starting
Mostly
to...
Kaiser actually bringing it on himself on anything else.
Baker got a great run there, actually. This could be very good for him as well.
Yeah, Dave is in 4th place at the moment. He's trying to get on the podium.
Well, they were going to come together then for that left-hander. They were very close.
Sutton's close as well, but not as close as Dave Baker is to Tyrone Kaiser. As the Englishman trying to go the inside of the Dutchman. Sutton also trying to go through into the lead. He's very, very late on the brakes, and he does it brilliantly, and as actually does Dave Baker too. So Baker showing some great overtaking prowess in this race.
Good little battle going on behind. That's Smolensky and Colin Cunniff as well. They're side by side.
Sorry, Alex, Smolensky's quietly having a very, very good championship. He can win this still.
He's right there with the points. These reverse grid races, these are the ones that he needs to try and sort of, make hay really, because
he's sort of scaring Colin Cunniff out of the way a little bit, head through from turn 4. Sorry, mate, what were you saying?
Yeah, well, I'd say these reverse grid ones, he needs to try and pick up as many points on people like, the Cats, Svidovic that he can, and Job. Obviously, Job, this disaster, he's out. There's nothing he's going to do on this one. He's going to be sort of like 70 to 100 points.
Well, this is a key battle because there's only 4 points between Katz and Smolensky, and there they are separated by position on the track.
Yeah, and it's important now for Svidovic. And okay, look, Svidovic doesn't want to go throwing it down the road because Katz and Smolensky there, and Smolensky very nearly bit the dust.
Allows Rushworth through.
Yeah, Rushworth straight through. Rushworth also another driver who's having a very good showdown, sat in 3rd place at the moment, starts to pick up these good results. He's going to be there or thereabouts at the end.
Baker and Kaiser still side by side, Alex, as they head through the top section there of this sort of main straight. It's not really a straight. This part is, of course, up the hill past the pit buildings. A bit remodelled actually for the 2015 Brazilian Grand Prix. Slightly different layout, and Baker, yes, there he goes. Oh, he's gone wide though. It's going to allow Kaiser a great run through Curve de Sol, Adam.
See what happens. And of course this year there's a huge amount of runoff area on the exit at CNRS. Not here on iRacing though, down towards Casino del Lago. Side by side in the background as well. Kaiser finds no way through past Baker there. Side by side Katz past Rushworth. And Svidovic trying to poke his nose in there. Of course, he just needs to finish. Sebastian Job's out.
But he can get as many points as he can. That's the thing he also wants. I mean, Alex, what do you think is the... I know what the sensible option is. It's because Katz hits Smolensky. Nothing sensible about that.
I think you've got to go get as many points as you can within
again!
Reasonable risk margin. You can't, of course, obviously DNF. That's one thing he cannot afford to do. But if he can get himself into 5th place and get nearly a maximum sort of gain on Job, that means that he's going to need. Well, he's got a DNF. Then it's almost like having a drop race, isn't it? That he's got in the banker.
Smolensky's getting severely beaten up here because Dan Hunt's now gone through on the Laser Tools drivers. Newman and Chepelevsky nearly collecting each other. All these GT Mega cars in a row, of course, with the Mike's Pad sponsorship on the car. Of course, that's like I say, gaming articles, and it's very interesting stuff there. Mike's Padblog.wordpress.com for this race, sponsoring GT Mega Racing.
Did we miss the oh no, sorry. Yeah, Sutton continues to lead. Laidler 2nd, Baker 3rd, Kaiser 4th, Bond 5th. And now it's between Rushworth and Katz.
Still back on Smolensky as well, and he shoved him off the track.
And we're watching, this is Steve Hefford and Pete Newman having a good battle as well. So Pete Newman Media and Eurochip Digital, they're having a good old ding-dong into turn 1. They all come out unscathed and continue the fight. This is Pete Newman with Ben Palmer now. So Palmer maybe up the inside, late on the brakes, looks good. Newman's going to have to try and hold it around the outside, can't quite do it. Perhaps could have used some of the runoff area to maintain the speed there. Who's that behind? Richard Gore, obviously.
Paul Smith.
And Paul Smith. So, of course, that is literally...
They tied, aren't they?
That is literally the battle for the AM Championship right there. Whoever wins this race will get...
he hits it.
Gore, that's a little tap there.
And again, that's a direct confrontation that in the points table. Alex Smolensky was 7th 2 laps ago. He's now 13th.
Fielded. Shellback got past.
Smolenski's just not slow, so he's just, like you say, he's just being beat up a little bit there.
He's gone offline, Alex, once or twice when he's been overtaken, and then the next guy's come through, and then the next guy. Looking at this battle, Ashley Sutton, by the way, is taking the lead from Rusty Leather, and he's clearing off into the distance, so we missed that. But really, I mean, I'm not going to say nobody cares, but it's not really relevant to the championship too much. And but Dave Baker is very much in with the shout. And actually, Baker's going to profit massively from the retirement of Sebastian Job, Adam.
This is going to be huge for Sebastian Job. Not only will probably lose second, but he'll probably lose third and fourth as well to Rushworth and possibly even Katz.
Jake Blackwell's miserable meeting continues. He retired on lap 3, as did Jamie Fluke, and Julian Janowski retired on lap 4, so not a good afternoon for those gentlemen. And Lee Thompson not even being there. It's a poor meeting for Apex, Alex, with Lee Thompson unfortunately not being able to make most of these showdown rounds.
Yeah, unfortunately, new job just meant that he can't. I think he's working shifts now. He did sort of arrange it off, but unfortunately they've denied him that. So,
I'm going to write to his head office and complain vociferously.
Did all that hard work to get himself into that top 10 before the end of the season, and unfortunately real life just gets in the way.
If I could swear on here, I would, because I think that's how annoyed I am for Lee. He's put a lot of effort in. Race winner as well, and
GT Omega having a good race meeting this week as well. It's very, very strong, and of course, Laidler sat there in second place. Simex there as well, also having a good meeting. So the teams championship, it's really hard to see where that's going to go. There's Engine Oil direct cars everywhere, and Team Simex cars here, there, and everywhere, and GT Omega as well. It's that's going to be a very, very close run series, that is, and that's where the big prize money is, of course.
Well, of course, GT Omega got a 92-point lead over Engine Oil's direct, and with such a huge presence in this top 10, it's going to get bigger.
It must be that higher eclectic ground and Mike's Padblog sponsorship on the car. There we go, plugged many times. So yeah, that's it must be making them go to higher ground and on the racetrack as well. So Laidler will be really happy actually with this, because Sutton's gone through Alex, and he's not really pulled away that much. I mean, he could be taking it easy, but Laidler's got great pace here tonight.
Yeah, he's keeping up. Last time by, Laidler was actually slightly quicker, so using the draft well, maybe just to sort of maintain the position. Oh, we just lost Laura Bond.
No.
Laura Bond stuff. Is that? Oh, tell me that there's a big crash going on. Richard Gore and Paul Smith as well.
Oh,
they've took each other out. Oh, let's have a little look at that back on replay. See what happened there. I'm sure that's going to be. Protested at the end of this race. Let's take a quick look. See what happened. Oh.
Gore's in all sorts of trouble. But
okay.
he
This looks. So we're side by side right now.
Oh,
it's a quarter pad now.
Oh,
and I think
off massively. Smith survived.
No, Smith went into the wall as well. I don't really know. I don't really know. Let's see.
It was almost like
exactly how Smith went into the wall there.
He hit the wall quite hard actually.
Was it Jarno Trulli and Adrian Suttle that had a similar incident?
Yeah. Let's have a look. I think
Smith
it was
ended up in one wall, and then Gore's ended up in the other.
And who was there? You obviously had the Eurochip digital car getting in on that as well. So
there may not be two more evenly matched drivers. Even on the last lap before they took each other out, Alex, they were only 1,000th of a second apart anyway.
Good battle, Jamie Rushworth, Colin Cunniff. I'm trying to get it on screen. There we are.
Andreas Katz as well, and Wojciech Svidovic, and Dan Hunt. So around the outside, Svidovic, it goes on Colin Cunniff.
Make sure you clear.
Turn 5, sorry, up towards Ferradura. And Svidovic is through on Cunniff, and Hunt's looking to go through on the Scotsman as well, but it's Andreas Katz in out ahead of Jamie Rushworth in 5th. So this is important as well, but Dave Baker's the one who's really got the benefit from this race. Of course, Svidovic has, yes, but Baker's been looking for a result like this where he can beat the other championship contenders fairly easily, and he looks like he's going to have that now, because I can't see them, Alex, catching 2.5 seconds up on him.
No way. Baker's running as quick as the leaders
Quick
out
laps,
there at the
actually.
moment. So he's got Kaiser as well, who's sort of being pulled along. If I dare say it, sorry you won't, but yeah, I dare say you're using a little bit of slipstream there to keep up with that. Lap time's just a little bit off of Baker, but they've got to get by your own, and we've seen. Want to mess with your own too much? He'll give it a good job to try and hold on to that.
Your own doesn't want any more incidents as Adam Jamie Rushworth trying the outside. Savinovic actually hits it.
Oh, Savinovic don't want to get too many incident points. I'm sure he's kept a pretty clean car this race.
I don't think he got any from the. Might have got maybe a 2x from the contact with
He'd
Blue.
have got 4. It would have spun off. Even if it was a 0x, it would have gone to a 4x after
Barely
they
touched it.
Yeah, but what happens is if some like a 0x or something like that results with the 4x of another car,
Someone else, right? Yeah.
which certainly the one with Joe would have done, then he'll get a 4x as well. So he'll be careful out there, I'm sure.
I didn't think it passed from driver to driver. That's interesting information.
Does,
So that Savinovic then just needs to be a little careful. Kaiser likewise as well, because he did have a couple of what surely were 4x's with Ash Sutton as well. So he'll be close to the limit. The limit is it's 11 incidents is the limit. So go over that, you will be disqualified. Sorry, hit 11, you'll be disqualified, isn't it? So just 2 laps to go here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache here on iRacing Live, Apex Racing TV YouTube channel, and also Motors TV. It's the BSRTC Pro Series. Andrew Woodhouse, Alex Simpson, Adam Bath with you. And Adam, it's been a great race so far. We're going to see some more action here with 3 former champions nose to tail.
Yeah, high levels of controversy here. Wojciech Savinovic then trying to get past Jamie Rushworth. No way through yet. Rushworth himself trying to get past Andreas Katz. What was the gap between them over the line?
Is 3 wide. Is he going to be silly and do that? Not really. He chooses the sensible path as Rushworth trying around the outside. Now she's been buffeted out by Katz, and that means that Savinovic can go around the outside in turn 3 of it.
Yeah, I don't think I was expecting that. Savinovic hanging back there through the centre S and was just able to get that position from Jamie Rushworth. Savinovic now up into 6th place. Is he going to try and get past Andreas Katz into Casino del Lago? He's going to try. Round the outside
Very
it goes.
Very, very, very late on the brakes for Savinovic through Casino del Lago, and Rushworth's going to try and get involved, but there is just not enough track. It's an old school piece of tarmac, that, Alex. It's pretty narrow in that run up towards Ferradura.
Yeah, that's great from Savinovic. Katz will not take it lying down. They'll try and go around the outside here. They'll have obviously the inside for the next corner, as we can see. But if Wojciech can just hold it around the outside, no, he can't. But Jamie trying to muscle back in on that. He's going to have to go around the outside if he can.
That's extremely close for Wojciech Savinovic. He almost cut across Jamie Rushworth there too quickly. We've seen what's happened in this series many times when that's happened. So through Magullo they go, and we're going to start the final lap then. Ashley Sutton's going to start his final lap momentarily, as he's 1 second ahead of Rusty Laidler. It seems like Alex Sutton, when he's out in the open, he's still very quick, but he's not, massively quicker than anyone else. But it's just his sheer overtaking skill that does it.
That's it. Can use the draft to full effect and get a move done when he needs to. And talking about moves, Savinovic trying to go around the outside of Katz in turn 1. Is that going to happen? Through the centre S, he doesn't get a very good exit there. That might let Jamie back in, and you got Colin Cunniff looking to have a couple of positions as well. And he's got nothing to lose. He's not in the showdown or anything. So
Dan Hunt's there as well. And Baker and Kaiser very, very close together as well. Kaiser seems to have caught back up to the Season 7 champion and is right on the bumper of that STEM Simex car. Andreas Katz just ahead for Eurochip Digital. Wojciech Savinovic, Engine Oil Direct. Jamie Rushworth, New Homes Digital. As Rushworth tries his best to try and force his way into this battle. Katz still maintaining the advantage, the German in the Eurochip Digital car. And Savinovic now gets clear of Rushworth, but he's gone off the track slightly into the runoff area to desperately try to get a move done on Andreas Katz goes Savinovic. So into the hairpin. Oh, and somebody's had a bit of a moment up front. Oh, Kaiser and Baker must have hit each other.
I think it might have actually been Sutton, because he's all of a sudden got Russell Laidler right on his tail, coming up the main straight, but he's going to be able to hold on, no problem, I'm sure.
Ashley Sutton's coming through.
Saul's blown an engine in this hunt. Sorry.
Dan Hunt's blown an engine, and Sutton lets Rusty Laidler through. Laidler's going to win the race.
Sounds like he's run out of fuel.
And Rushworth's got past Savidovic. And he could get past Katz here. They're side by side to the line.
Oh, it's very close, but Rushworth, I think, just by 3/100ths of a second.
I just want to pick up that Shellback. I think it's Shellback, or was it Chepelevsky? I'm not sure. Yeah, it was. It was Cheppy. Was pushing Hunt down that straight to make him finish. That's how important it is for GT Omega to get good finishes, and that is teamwork at its best. I'm going to have a little look at a replay on that. That is brilliant.
So Hunt blew an engine, and so what? Sutton ran out of fuel.
I think Sutton ran out of fuel. It looked like that.
Oh gosh.
Yep. I thought it was. At first, I thought
literally pushing him down the straight just to try and get. That's awesome. So
and did they both get that position off a Hefford? They did.
Yeah, that's good.
So actually, Dan Hunt only finished 13th, which wasn't that bad at all, really, considering he blew the engine.
What made me worried was that Rushworth lunged down the inside of Savidovic, and I thought it was Savidovic that had blown the engine because of him going sideways. But yeah, it was Hunt that blew the engine on the exit of Jun Seao.
Oh.
That was good. That was good, quick communication between the team there. You know, it's like I need a push. You know, I'm sure Chepelevsky sacrificed a few places to get that done, but to have both cars obviously finish in the top 15 far more important than one. He wouldn't have got up the hill, would he? He would have been, you know, 29th, 30th, something like that. So
I think Alex, he only lost one position, did Chepelevsky.
Actually
doing that. So he's not going to lose a lot for the Drivers' Championship either. And they did get that position, like I say, over Steve Hefford. So Chepelevsky went only from 13th to 14th, so he didn't hurt his own points tally.
And of course, Russell Laidler won as well, so you know
Job's
the
going to drop right down after
points
this race.
In the bag for GT Omega. Yeah, you're right. We'll hopefully Jeroen will update those for us, but we'll certainly bring you the points before the start of the next race, regardless. Yeah, great meeting.
Hunt was 100.
Rusty Laidler as well for an interview, I think, in a second.
Let's bring him down, actually.
Sorry, Adam, you were saying.
Yeah, I was just going to say that Dan Hunt was going 198 kilometres an hour down the front straight at the end, despite having a blown engine.
Yeah, and a man who can tell us a bit about that is.
Sorry, just a second. I was just about to say, while he's celebrating out there, we might be on a replay actually. We will.
Come on.
Wow. We'll just do the reverse grid so the admins can get that all organised, and then we'll have a quick word with Laidler in a moment.
Well, we're running through the finishing order then.
You're going to have to hang fire there, mate.
Russell Laidler wins. Ashley Sutton's second position. Two former teammates there back in the days of CQR. Jerome Kaiser in third, David Baker fourth, Jamie Rushworth in fifth, Andreas Katz sixth, Wojciech Savidovic seventh, Colin Cunniff eighth, Michael Sherbak ninth, Alex Malensky 10th, 11th for Simon Field, 12th for Ben Palmer, 13th despite having a blown engine out of the final corner, Dan Hunt, 14th Stelian Chepelevsky. As Russell Laidler nearly gets hit. 15th, Steve Hefford. 16th, Pete Newman. 17th, Rob Fagg. 18th, Stephen Burke. 19th, Kip Stevens. 20th, John Roberts. 21st, Steve Richardson. 22nd, Dan Blake. 23rd, Andrew Whitehead. 24th, Robert Graham. 25th, Scott Malcolm, and the car's one lap down or more. 26th, Robert Plumley. 27th, Richard Gore. 28th, Paul Smith. 29th, Laura Bond. 30th, Julian Janowski. 31st, Jake Blackhall. 32nd, Jamie Fluke, and then 33rd, right at the very back, it is Sebastian Job. A lot of work for him to do in race 3. The car's then eligible for the third and final race, the reverse grid. Steve Hefford, Pete Newman, Rob Fagg, Stephen Burke, Kip Stevens, John Roberts, Steve Richardson, Dan Blake, Andrew Whitehead, Robert Graham, Scott Malcolm, and Robert Plumley, Alex.
Here we go then. Second time tonight. Let's give it a spin, see where we end up. Could be 26th, could be 16th. Oh, I think it's going to be, 26, pretty easy. So we've got a full reverse grid there. So not good for people like Laidler, who's down there, Baker. They're going to be towards the back of that now. And Katz obviously did well, but it's a big one.
Well, we had the smallest reverse grid we could for race 1, for race 2, and the biggest reverse grid for race 3. And I think will this help Sebastian Job? We'll talk about it in a second. Robert Plumley on pole position, Scott Malcolm second, Robert Graham third, Andrew Whitehead 4th, Dan Blake in 5th. Sebastian Job starting in 33rd position now, Andrew. 26 cars reversed. That means that Savidovic is closer to the back, and he's got a lot more work to do.
Yeah, it does, and the thing is that all the points are key now at this point, and consistency is key, and Ward will be looking just to get in the top 5, I think, maybe even just in the top 10, try and get some points on the board, because whatever it means, it means that his main rival is going to find it even more difficult. Well, let's move on to the man who actually won the race here, Rusty Laidler, and you can tell us a bit about, first of all, Dan Hunt and Cheppy at the end. It looks exciting.
Yeah, from what I heard over the comms, it sounds like Dan, he must have missed a shift on the way down and popped his engine. And I mean, that's fair credit straight away to Cheppy there. He's, those two, he's clearly just thinking about the team. A lot of other people probably just drove by. If it was like just Sutton and Ben, Sutton would have just drove past Ben laughing. You know what those two are like, but no, that's 110% there. You can tell that our guys, we're just thinking about the team championship.
Well, it didn't hurt him too badly in the Drivers' Championship as well. He just lost 1 place. But tell us about your own race, because it looked pretty good all the way through.
I have no idea where I pulled that from. I got a really good start. I got a little loose into turn 1, but I was that's normally what I do anyway. And
I think it scared the people behind you, to be honest. I don't think they got you for that reason.
I can't remember what year it was, but I remember Jenson Button doing that in Formula 1, deliberately getting the back end out to stop someone going round him, so that kind of went through my mind. But myself and Ash were CQR teammates, so it's like a team within a team. When Ash got to me, I just kind of let off the throttle early going into turn 1, let him go in front of me, because it made more sense for us two to work together to pull away from the rest of the field. If we'd started battling at the end of the race, we'd have been scrapping out with Wodge, Katz, people that I'm out of my league with. So the sensible thing to do was, when we had a bit of clear track, we just worked together. I only won that on merit for the sheer fact that Ash ran out of fuel. But I would have been over the moon with second place, especially as I've had a really poor round at Okayama. But I'm feeling much better, to be honest. I'm starting to find my pace again. I was getting a bit bummed out at mid-season, but things are starting to look up again.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very, very good performance anyway. And then I suppose a bit of a bonus with Ash running out of fuel. Where do you see, what position are you in the team's championship in terms of is there good positivity in the team? That's easy for me to say, isn't it? At the moment, going into the last 3 races.
Yeah, I mean, there has been from day one. We're a really, really good tight-knit team. Everybody gets on with everybody. I'm bad for getting words out now as well. We literally have played this. There is no I in team. Whenever another one of our teammates is behind one another, and if the one behind's faster, we'll just move on by and let them go, and again, we'll work together. We're trying to drive more with our brain than our balls this time around. But no, I definitely think I chose the right team to be in this season. I've always wanted to be in a team with Cheppy, right from when I started. In fact, I remember back in season 4, we were at Suzuka, and I got a private. Cheppy came over to my pit box and asked, "Hey, do you want to drive for me next season?" But I was in a contract with CQR, and so I had to turn him down. But fortunes changed for this year. I asked, and I got myself in a really good team. Dan, Stanimir, Janowski, Cheppy, and Michael. They're all really great guys. If you want a setup, they send it you without even asking. They give you a bit of coaching here and there. In the teams races, I don't think there could be any nicer guys to work with. They're so supportive and so helpful. The team deserves to win this on merit. I mean, I've been a part-time driver all season until about maybe 10 rounds ago when I got drafted in full-time, I think, when Stanimir gave himself an injury. And but it's those guys that put in the hard work. I'm just trying to help finish the job off, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, definitely. And we wish you all the best of luck for the rest of the season. We're going to have to let you go and actually let you get ready for race 3, because that will be very soon. But thanks for joining us, mate. It's been a while since we've had a chance to chat to you, but it's been a pleasure.
Aye, same to you guys, and enjoy the rest of the fun.
All right. Rusty Laidler there, and Alex, like I said, very measured drive once again. Both of our winners have shown that same trait tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great from both of them. He didn't put a foot wrong there. Like you say, he knew Ash what he was going to do and what was going to happen. So yeah, all good. I think that's exactly what GT Omega needed. It's weird the overlay saying he finished second, but we all know he finished first, so just ignore that. But yeah, I should believe we might have the standings available. We'll try and bring them up actually on screen at the start of the next race, because we've got to get loaded into the next server, I think.
Yes, indeed. So we're going to take a quick break. Alex, we're going to do a quick break
indeed.
now. Yep.
Sorry. Yes,
it's all right. And so we'll do that now. We'll just take a quick break here at Interlagos. So we've had 2 great races tonight, and the third one is coming up in a few minutes' time. So stay with us here on Apex Racing TV, iRacing Live, and Motors TV. We'll see you in a bit.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
It's round 3 of the evening here at Interlagos. It's the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's round 3 of the evening. It's round 93 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, presented by Engine Oil Direct. My name is Andrew Woodhouse, as it has been all evening, and also still retaining the same personas, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. Alex, that's a relief, isn't it? You're still the same man that you were at the start of the night.
Yeah, I'm quite grateful for that, I think.
What do we expect from race 3?
More of the same. I think massive reverse grid here. We said if that would be a good thing for Job or not. I think actually it is a good thing because he's got a chance of coming through the pack along with the the likes of Svidovic that are going to be sort of starting this race in sort of 20th place. So got a chance to get close to him. It's just damage limitation, I think, for this race. He's dropped himself down in the championship. Adam will go through those in just a second, I'm sure. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting race. I think he needs to basically do a Sutton. It's going to be interesting to see what goes on. GT Omega, clearly the best team of the night so far as well. So more of the same from them, I dare say.
Adam, it's very, very close to the championship standings, isn't it? It's not so close between Wojciech Svidovic and the rest, but behind that, well, very, very tight.
Yeah, Wojciech Svidovic now leads Jamie Rushworth by 63 points. So Rushworth now into second position. Sebastian Job now in third, 97 points behind Wojciech Svidovic. It was 15 going into race 2. Katz is in fourth, only 6 points behind Job. And then 10 points back, it's Alex Smolensky in 5th. 6th, it's David Baker, only 1 point behind Smolensky. And then Stevens in 7th, 1 point ahead of Hunt in 8th. And then joint 9th, it is Pete Newman and Simon Fields with Chepelewski in 11th. Pro-Am standings, though, exactly the same as they were before race 2 started. Richard Gore and Paul Smith, despite hitting each other, they are still joint top of the Pro-Am standings, with John Roberts in third.
Because they hit each other at the same time.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then in the teams championship, GT Omega 113 points ahead. Quickly then, before the start of the race, we're running through the grid. On the pole position, it is Andrew Whitehead, Steve Richards. Actually, that's the wrong
Rob
grid.
Plumley on pole.
Yeah, that's the wrong grid, sorry. On pole position, it's Robert Plumley, Scott Malcolm second, third Robert Graham, fourth Andrew Whitehead, fifth Dan Blake, Steve Richardson sixth, John Roberts seventh, eighth it is Kip Stevens, ninth Stephen Burke, 10th Rob Fagg, 11th Pete Newman, 12th Hefford, 13th Chepelewski, 14th Hunt, 15th Palmer, 16th Field, 17th Smolensky, 18th Shellback, 19th Colin Cunningham, and Davidovich in 20th.
The green light's on already. And that was what's happened to Robert Plumley.
Yeah, that was a weird start to say the least, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He just turns sharp left. I don't know whether he didn't get engaged into first
Seemed
gear
like
or
an
something.
early start as well. We hadn't had a minute of gridding, which we normally do have, so not exactly sure what's gone on there. But leading is
Maybe
Robert Graham's miles in the lead. Scott Malcolm second. He's got Dan Blake behind him.
Huge crash. Chepelewski, Hunt.
Savidovic.
How does he avoid that?
And Job again, possibly?
Well, I'm
No,
sure he's
Job's-
involved.
oh,
Yeah,
I think he's.
No,
he's
he's
finished.
avoided it. He's avoided it, I think.
no,
No,
he's there.
no, he's
He's
not.
there.
He's smashed
No, he's
bits.
not. Oh, it was Blackall that avoided it all for
Well,
Apex.
I don't know
Massive
who-
crash.
I don't know who was watching Wojciech Savidovic from up above,
Oh,
but that's just
I
amazing.
think he's got slight rear left damage.
Well,
Only slight.
Right, where did it start? Who do I need to look at for
it was
that
Pete
one?
Newman. Pete Newman's the man to watch. Pete Newman's the man to watch. I was just about to say, maybe the reason we had such a quick gridding is because, of course, iRacing defaults to the start the moment everyone grids up.
Yeah, but if there's always a minute to the start of the race, isn't there? Races? There's always a minute of gridding time.
Yeah, you're right. There's just cars just ricocheting back onto the track, and it was Job hit Pete Newman, actually. That's what it was. And he was slow. He just couldn't avoid him. So
Let's have a look then. Newman.
Let's take another look at that back. That's a massive, massive one.
That's one of the biggest we've ever had. Oh, Newman just got out of shape, didn't he, coming through turn 2? And in turn 3, just nudged into Hefford. But then Hefford was 3 wide with... Oh! Really weird. Is that netcode? Netcode, yeah, massive netcode.
Well, shall we have an on board with...
Oh, man, and Kaiser got walloped.
My word.
Oh, Newman's off into orbit. Kaiser got absolutely waffled there.
They're 3 wide behind.
Has Savidovic got...
And Shellback as well. All the GT Omega cars, I think, were involved. I think actually all of them, apart from Daniel Hunt. Or was Hunt involved in that? No, Hunt survived it.
Yeah,
so.
Hunt survived. I was just looking at Savidovic. I don't know whether, thanks to the glory of netcode, his car looks pretty clean. However, I think if we go on board, he does take a bit of a whack to Pete Newman, but I think the car gets away with it.
11
Smith
drivers
went through it very
involved in
slowly. Richard Gore didn't get through it at all. That's the biggest crash we've ever seen on this championship, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty crucial one as well, because Sebastian Job
He's out.
again. And
Job's out. Newman's out.
Palmer's out. Rushworth is out as well.
Baker could be out as well. Savidovic has just looked into an absolutely wonderful position.
I think Fred's
Field is still in.
Have we got an on board, Alex? With
let's see if we can get an on board actually with him.
because he does hit something.
Wait, is the pace car's not in this lap? Is it?
No,
I
it's
don't think so. This is great for Simon Field.
Jump it back a bit.
I can't tell who he hits. He either hits Newman or he hits Newman and Kaiser, I think.
Right, it's just gone on, so let's give it back another 30 seconds and we should be there.
Wow,
I
that
think.
is just amazing.
I'll just quickly, Alex, have a quick check on who survived.
Here we go, so we're on board
Go on,
with
yep.
Savidovic now. He's behind Shellback, he's got Kaiser to his right. So it's going to happen just in front of him, isn't it? So there it all starts to go off there. He can't see nothing. He's a complete passenger. You know, he caught a car on the left, he caught a car on the right. It looked like he got massive damage. It's repaired itself, so it was just, yeah, he's so lucky there. So lucky. He couldn't see anything. He had
was
no
Kaiser,
idea where anyone was.
If he was Kaiser, he was going for a trip across, and that's just pure luck of circumstance right there.
That's craziness, isn't it? Just having a quick look, like I say,
that bit of luck could win him this championship right here, right now. With Rushworth out, Baker out, Job out. That's his main rivals there. I mean, where's Katz?
Newman's out as well.
Katz survived. Katz was in front
survived,
of him.
but I mean, Katz was still 100 odd points behind anyway. He's still ahead of him now.
Smolenski's out.
Just ahead.
Well, that 26 car reverse grid. There you go.
We've lost 3. We've lost 4 of the championship contenders now. Let's just have a quick look. So in the pits, Jamie Fluke, Sebastian Job is out. He's just he's written off the car, and I'm not surprised. Dave Baker's in the pits. Michael Shellback, Stelian Chepelewski, Jeroen Kaiser, Steve Hefford, Jamie Rushworth, Pete Newman, Ben Palmer, and Russell Laidler, the winner of the last race.
So it's basically there's a number, isn't it?
20 cars who were okay, I believe, and that's it. Richard Gore's still going round actually in 20th place with massive damage.
Right, Katz finished in
right behind Paul Smith. Surprise, eh?
Katz finished in 6th, and basically everyone after Katz.
Oh my God!
is being involved in something. Well,
that's the worst incident I think we've ever had.
Let's have a look at the showdown contenders then. Savidovic, he's still in it. He's still in it. He's in 16th place. Jamie Rushworth, second in the standings. He's out. Sebastian Job in 3rd. He's out. Andreas Katz is in 4th in the standings. He's in 15th. Alex Smolenski, 5th in the standings. He is in 13th place. Baker is out, is he? Baker, yeah,
Baker's out.
Baker's out. Stevens in 7th in the standings. He's in 8th. Hunt, who's in 8th in the standings, is in 11th. 9th, Pete Newman, he's out. Simon Field is in 12th. And Stelian Chepelewski is out. That's the state of play at the moment. Let's run through the top 10.
It's the Laser Tools 1-2 and an Engine Oil Direct 3-4.
Sam Blake could be on for some big things here, as could Laser Tools. Robert Graham leads, Scott Malcolm 2nd, Blake 3rd, Andrew Whitehead 4th, Plumley 5th, Roberts 6th, Fag 7th, Stevens 8th, Richardson 9th, and Burke in 10th.
I believe the lights are off on the safety car. Robert Graham backing the pack up, using a smart strategy here. We don't often see this in iRacing, Alex. Someone backing the pack up, what you'd say properly, actually. Graham's going now, but he's going to go too quickly. Where's that pace car? Where's that Ford Mustang?
He's going way too quickly. Safety car's there.
Safety car's still. Oh no! Oh my goodness me! No,
I'm sorry, I shouldn't. But yeah, that was. Oh, this is going to cause a nightmare.
And now he's going to go again.
Green flag.
Go!
Now he goes.
Will Blake get a penalty because he officially took the race lead?
I think he's giving it back though, so he's got a lot of damage down Blake as well. From something, I'm not exactly sure. Robert Graham that takes the lead into turn 1. Scott Malcolm in 2nd place. Andrew Whitehead is, I believe, still 3rd. Yeah, ahead of Dan Blake. Rob Plumley in 4th. John Roberts 5th. Rob Fagg 6th. Kip Stevens in 7th. Ahead of Sutton, who somehow made it through all that nonsense. Ashley Sutton started 25th, and he's up to 9th already, and he's trying on Kip Stevens here. And that's not an easy thing to do. Stevens needs to worry about the championship, but he's also trying to get his way past Ashley Sutton and keep in front of Ashley Sutton. But you sense that one's a bit futile.
Yeah, side by side down towards Ferradura. We'll see what happens. Why do we have a Ford Mustang as a safety car? Should we all contact?
Oh, goodness me. Well, I think that's what Kip Stevens says to that then.
Sutton now battling away with
his teammate.
Supposed teammate.
Don't hit your teammate there, Ash. Andreas Katz just behind this group with Field and Hunt. Dan Hunt's in there. Look at the damage on a lot of these cars. Alex, that's going to be affecting the speed of many of these Kia Optimas near the back. As Hunt nearly quarter panels Stephen Burke. And he's going to quarter panel him in a minute. There's tensions rising to maybe slightly unhealthy levels. Oh, what's Daniel Hunt doing?
And who's that going to allow to get through?
Katz is going to slow down.
Oh no.
He's almost stuck in the middle of the track. All sorts of stuff going on here. Gore and Blackhall are through. Katz has gone down to last place.
Savidovic trying to get involved in this as well. Down the front straight.
This is unhealthy, boys. Something's going to go down here.
Recipe for disaster, surely.
I can just see it happening.
Into the first corner, 3 wide. Who's going to go out? Savidovic early on the brakes. Steve Richardson trying to steer clear. Cunniff down the inside as the Laser Tools car's out of control.
Hunt's just punted Smolenski. Something's happening with Daniel Hunt here. That's 2 incidents. It looks like he's just driven into intentionally. I don't know about anything else there, but
Savidovic through into 14th place, gained a lot of positions there.
Yep.
Robert Fagg and that's John Roberts
maybe
as well. Kip Stevens running off there as well, gets back onto the track.
Dan Blake's got severe damage to the front of that car.
Everyone's got severe damage, let's face it.
Sutton all over the place there, and now Field looks down the inside.
Field nearly hitting his teammate there. John Roberts trying to stay out of trouble. Remember, he's still got an AM Championship to try and win. It didn't look so bad actually when I looked at the replay of the Daniel Hunt, the second incident, so apologies to him. It didn't look like it was intentional, of course, but yeah, he just looked a bit clumsy, to be honest, by both men.
Paul Smith fighting with Smolenski. He needs to get by Smolenski really, because he's got Richard Gore ahead of him. Gore's got up and past him. Of course, that's AM Championship right there as well. Smolenski must have some damage that we can't quite see or something like that, because he's really struggling out there.
Janowski and Richardson are very slow through the Junsao, and that's going to allow Richard Gore to get onto the back of them through the left-hander. And they're side by side, Gore and Richardson. This is a battle for 17th and
16th and 7th
on the racetrack, side by side there, and Katz is side by side with Smolenski as well as they head down the front straight.
But Smolenski just seems to have been unlucky tonight. He's the one who used to basically crash into everyone. He seems to be the one who always gets crashed into these days.
This is the battle for last place on the racetrack. Paul Smith, Paul Smith's the last car running here.
Steve Burke and Dan Blake very, very close side by side.
I don't know how Gore's driving his car as quickly as he is with the damage he's got, but yeah. Blake's car all over the place, losing control completely. And Hunt now trying to take advantage up the hill.
Oh, Sutton battling away with Fagg, and he hits Fagg. He puts him sideways.
This is getting a little bit silly now.
Down the inside he goes.
There's certain people tonight who don't seem to be capable of making a move without hitting another car. And Field having a look. Fag's turned across Field, and there's only one ending for that one, unfortunately. We could see that coming a mile off. This is some of the worst driving I've ever seen, I think, gentlemen.
Well, at the beginning of this race, the race organiser said they haven't got an incident limit, and that means they've got to go around manually disqualifying drivers. I don't know if they're doing that.
There's no incident limit. That explains it, doesn't it?
Well, they'll all get disqualified if they go over the points anyway. It doesn't matter. They'll do it at the end of the race.
But now they're getting disqualified at the end, which means they can cause as much chaos and carnage as they like during the race. There's no restriction, is there?
Colin Cunniff looking on Janowski as well. Got a good run. He's going to have to go around the outside if he's going to make this one stick. Lots of drivers keep going faster than Rob Graham's fastest lap time out there, but they're doing it with an off track. And Cunniff just gives Janowski a little tap on the side. That's a bit more like touring car racing that we're used to seeing.
It's a great battle. It's a great run for Lazy Tools, actually. Graham and Malcolm having a fantastic race at the front. And long may that continue for them, because it's deserved. After all this time, for them to have very good results. Whitehead in third, Plumley fourth.
Roberts and Stevens side by side. Stevens forces him out wide onto the grass, but he's just able to hold on. Back onto the racetrack he goes. And who's that behind going a little bit sideways? That's Rob Fagg, who got turned around earlier, and now he might get turned around by another Pete New Media car there as Stephen Burke looked down the inside, and now he's under pressure from Dan Hunt and Savidovic.
I have to say, there's no room to move. Who was that behind? I think that's Colin Cunniff. Well, I thought it was somebody. Did he manage to save that? I think he did.
Blake?
Oh, it was Dan Blake, was it?
I was Blake. He got hit by Cunniff.
Same kind of car.
Oh dear.
Sorry, Dan. Yep, he's around. So we're down to
RBSR Club Series commentator there. Unfortunately, Yeah, it's not going that well for him tonight. It went very well for him actually at the weekend, so well done to him and Paul Smith on a successful first meeting. I thoroughly enjoyed competing in that championship as well.
Going across the line then, 6 laps to go in the third and final race.
Except I can't talk about driving standards because I got disqualified in the last race.
Savidovic trying to get past Burke. Those two are side by side as they come across the line. Who's going to get the position into the centre rest though? That is the main point, and Burke goes out wide.
Very wide. Can Wodge get back through?
He does.
Can indeed, and Dan Hunt's there as well, just behind.
And Savidovic now into the top 10.
You've got Janowski and Cunniff now. Janowski's at 29th, he's up to 13th actually, he must have avoided most of that. He's got a pretty damaged car. Sorry, Adam.
Malcolm's gone off, and that's going to allow Whitehead through.
Oh, Plumley's there as well. So up the hill, it's going to be interesting. Plumley around the front of Scott Malcolm. Excellent move from Rob Plumley there.
Very brave to turn across.
Malcolm trying the inside line. Plumley's trying on Whitehead. Oh, just about stopped himself from running into the back of the engine oil direct car. So Simpson Racing, they haven't had a great day so far. It's not really going very well for them at all, but especially with Dave Baker out, none of the guys who actually retired to the pits have been able to come back out at all.
And that shows it, the fast toe right there.
Just one actually, Jake Blackwell, he managed to make his way back out on track, so...
Sorry, yes.
So only one, but yeah, everybody else, so severe was the damage, so...
Blackwell avoided most of it, he was at the back of the field. So he did, I think he might have got a light tap somewhere, and that's all, but it's been a terrible meeting for the Australian. He was the first man out in both the races, now he's virtually last on the racetrack. He's just not having a good time of it out there, but he's a race winner in this series. We know he can do very well, as Robert Graham. He's going to have to do very well in defence. He goes defensive very early on with Andrew Whitehead. Whitehead gets a cutback, and he's going to cut through turn 2 very, very nicely. And then in Curva de Sol, can he keep that tight line, Adam, to challenge down into Interlagos?
He's done a good job. Plumley was all over the place there, and he's going to be under pressure from Scott Malcolm in a minute. But yeah, Whitehead looking to the inside. Graham covers the inside for now. Oh, they nearly hit each other. They do hit each other, and now Plumley nearly goes into the back of Whitehead as well. Minimal damage though for Andrew Whitehead, who was
very light contact really.
Sutton's barging his way through. He's got past Scott Malcolm now, so Sutton is now cracked the top 4, and look how close he is. He could take a race. Well, he could take a race victory here.
Janowski's out as well, so not good for GT Omega. I would like a quick look to see what that was.
I wouldn't like to wager the amount of incidents, Alex, that these guys have got, to be honest.
No, oh dear, well, we'll have a little review of that at the end of the race. Here's how Janowski fell victim. Traditional court panel, turned over him on the straight.
Whitehead takes the lead.
Pete Newman Media, I think it was Steve Burke that went with him, so... let's jump back to the action. I'll stick with the replay actually, because I think it got a bit tasty, and we'll see that overtake happen as well.
They're almost nose to tail for second place. I don't know if
we'll stick with it. We'll see all this. Just bear with me for a second. So the laser tool car, they're defending well. Whitehead, very late on the brakes, just gets his nose up the inside. Still watching this on the replay, of course, but that was the overtake there. That was great, and we're back to live.
Sorry, Alex. There,
Sutton is just he's got no fear, has he?
Rob Graham kind of half defended the line and half didn't, and these two are going to end up in a heap.
He's going to force him wide. Here comes Plumley. Here comes Plumley.
He's going to quarter panel him. Yeah, there you go. Oh my God, this is absolutely awful.
Savidovic avoids it though, just.
Oh my God, he has again. Houdini himself. This is just. The next word out of my mouth, I was going to get fired. I'm not going to say it, but it is. Oh dear.
Well, Savidovic is up into 5th now. Can he get past Scott Malcolm?
He can try, but that's not the place, I wouldn't think. Very, very difficult to get through there.
Oh well.
Savidovic must be just. I don't know. Does he? He's the luckiest man in touring cars, isn't he?
I don't want to say that Ashley Sutton has an agenda, but he doesn't.
I don't think that was. I'll be honest. I think Ashley.
Ash had nothing to do with that.
That wasn't really Ashley's fault at all. I think Graham just decided Sutton was going to crash. In my opinion.
He'd
Well,
roughed him,
That,
he'd,
that little nudge,
he'd
the
roughed
little
him
nudge
up.
before. So.
He'd roughed him up the last
He had
half
a little
lap.
bit, but I mean that was a fair move.
Yeah,
But and there was a little tap going through turn 3, and then I think Graham just decided that Sutton was going to go out of that race. That's
well,
my
Sutton,
opinion.
yeah, Sutton, but he did force Sutton off the track just a little bit on the exit curve into Seoul.
Only a little bit. Only a little bit. I mean, Sutton was entitled to place his car where he did actually, and
Tweedovic now coming through on Malcolm.
very difficult.
Side by side then, this is for 4th place. Down the inside goes Savidovic. Is he going to be later on the brakes to get past the Laser Tools car? No, he's not. Malcolm doing a very good job there, but Savidovic will have the inside line and the preferred line, but no, Malcolm shoves it back up the inside. So fair play by the Laser Tools driver who was battling away with Ashley Sutton a lap ago. Now here we go down the straight towards Casino de Largo. Kip Stevens could be about to take a victory here. He's right on the back of Andrew Whitehead as well.
Yeah, Kip Stevens has done a great race for New Homes Digital. He's going to find himself right in that championship battle, I think. But Wojciech Svidovic is going through into P4 now, past Scott Malcolm. So Svidovic doing a very, very good job actually literally keeping his head while everybody else is losing theirs. So excellent work. Kip Stevens as well. You've got to hand it to him. Alex, it would have been very, very easy for Stevens or Svidovic to get involved in this trouble, and they've both avoided it very well.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, for the most part, those drivers tend to. You don't often see Kip involved in too much. Certainly, a few seasons ago, we might have been saying that, but he's been. I think he's ranked second on the clean award. So
it's Baker in first, and then Stevens, and then Svidovic actually
Well, the one good thing for Baker, that was only 4x that he got there. So in that race, he got absolutely destroyed, but it was still only a 4 times. So that's still pretty safe for him.
Well, Andrew Whitehead last took a victory at Summit Point as Svidovic gets past Robert Graham. They're side by side.
Season
7, I think.
11, I think. Yeah.
Yes, season 7. And now into the lead they go.
There was almost contact there. Whitehead twitching around under braking. Stevens trying to go around the outside. The centre S. It's not going to work that time.
Robert Graham still holding on ahead of Svidovic. Svidovic wasn't able to find a way through on the straight.
Might get through. Coming out of cover the Soul though. He's got a nice run, as has Robert Fagg on Scott Malcolm as well. So Eurochip Digital on the move there. And Andreas Katz up to 11th place as well.
Down the inside goes Stevens. Will Whitehead try and get the cut back on the exit? No, he can't.
No, he will try. He's got a great run. But yeah, he's not going to get enough time. I thought he'd actually judged that beautifully, but Stevens got a good enough exit to make sure that the engine oil direct car couldn't get anywhere near him. So good move there. And Stevens, Adam, he always seems to take race victories at the most surprising times, really.
Yeah, he took a victory at race 2 at Okayama as Fag goes down the inside of Malcolm.
He's through.
Nearly.
No.
He gets hit by
me. It's Roberts, I think it's, and Robert Fagg has gone into the wall. He needs to get going again quickly because Janowski's there. And Rob Fagg make it back. I think he's going to struggle, isn't he? Could be worth trundling that round actually.
Well, we've got 1 lap to go. We get to the line side by side here as well. Richardson and Gore, those two have been battling since the restart. But yeah, Stevens took a victory at race 2 at Okayama. Looks like he's going to take a victory here in race 3.
Sorry, Adam, Smith is only 2 positions behind Gore as well. So he hasn't given up that battle for the evening as well. And Gore's got a lot of damage, so it might mean that he's a bit slow in the straight line, Alex, because Blackall's right there with him.
Yeah, Blackall. Do you know what? Considering the damage he had, and the race meeting he's had,
Gore's got a hell of a lot of damage as well.
He's still going to get a reasonable result out of this.
Smith and Gore are like mortal enemies. They'll like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They'll fight to the death. As Steve Richardson just on the inside, and he's kept a nice line there. The veteran of this series. Oh, and Blackall, there's not a lot of room there to go down the inside, go around the outside, down the straight towards the Cedar de Largo, and actually Blackall's managed to get through, and Will Smith go through as well. It's important for him to try to make that position up on the last lap, but it's Kip Stevens coming through the infield section with Andrew White. Is there a crash?
The Laser Tools cars, I think, have hit each other, I think.
No.
Oh my.
And Katz is coming through. Oh, Katz is into Malcolm.
Yeah, Katz hit him. That's what happened. Katz hit one of the Laser
And
Tools
he's hit
cars.
Malcolm again. everyone's going to be disqualified at the end of this race.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting post-race
Quick,
show. Stick around for it.
If we get the car now, we might be able to score some points.
Yeah.
Whitehead's got to slow down through Magullo.
And Savidovic is through. Or was that team play?
That's
That was team
Magullo.
play.
That's team play, isn't it? That's team orders. Every point's going to count for. It doesn't matter for the team championship, does it? But that helps Wojciech. So.
And through then, towards the finish line comes Kip Stevens to win an absolute war here at Interlagos. Kip Stevens wins, and Andrew Whitehead is going to. Wojciech Savidovic is going to get second place from Andrew Whitehead. And is it Robert Graham or is it Daniel Hunt? It is Robert Graham who gets fourth place ahead of Dan Hunt. John Roberts in sixth, and seventh is Colin Cunniff. Alex Smolenski again, getting through the carnage. Eighth, Scott Malcolm. Ninth, got beaten up a little bit at the end there. Andreas Katz in 10th, Richard Gore 11th. 12th for Jake Blackhall. 13th, Steve Richardson. 14th, Paul Smith. 15th was Julian Janowski. And it was Dan Blake in 16th. Rob Fagg was 17th.
And that is it.
And that is it, at least before any disqualifications as well. So we're not going to actually bring you a points table unless we can find out about the disqualifications, because there was so much going on there. Simon Field 18th. So all the cars that retired: Field, Sutton, Plumley, Burke, Newman, Fluke, Job, Baker, Shellback, Chepelewski, Kaiser, Hefford, Rushworth, Laidler and Palmer. I just don't know what to say, really, to be honest.
Well, it started really from the word go. We didn't know. We had a start given early. Plumley had a horrific start, and then we had the huge crash.
And then Graham missed the safety car.
That caused more chaos, and then we had.
It's just the worst. I'll be honest, it's the worst race I've ever seen.
Well,
life.
It's going to change the championship, that's for sure. And of course, we'll have a look once the results are released. We will have a look at how many incident points who had, and I don't know how the race organisers are going to decide this, because after all, they're in a finished position. I'll refresh the results page now and see we've got a full one. But yeah, huge implications for the championship. Who knows what's going to happen when we head to the next race meeting at Mosport?
Well, yeah. Who knows?
Mosport, that'll be a good circuit though. Racing will be good there, I think. Difficult to overtake, but that back straight going to make for some good, interesting two-wide action, certainly.
We've got a long straight, of course, that leads towards those sweeping corners at the end of the track. Well, we'll run you through the finishing order then. Kip Stevens wins, 3 incidents. Wojciech Savidovic finished in 2nd with 5. Andrew Whitehead finished in 3rd with 5. Robert Graham 4th with 9. Dan Hunt finished 5th with 7. John Roberts, 0 incidents.
3.
He finished in 6th. 7th, Colin Cunniff finished with 4. Alex Smolenski finished in 8th with 5. Scott Malcolm finished 9th with 13 incidents. That's the first one. 10th, Andreas Katz with 5. 11th is Richard Gore with 5. 12th, Jake Blackhall 5. Steve Richardson 13th with 6. Paul Smith 14th with 4. 15th, Julian Janowski with 7. 16th, Dan Blake with 13. 17th, Robert Fagg with 15 incidents. 18th, Simon Field with 15 incidents. And then we get into the cars one lap down or more. Ashley Sutton 13, Robert Plumley 12, Stephen Burke 10, Pete, and then these are the cars that all got involved in that lap 1 wreck. 22nd, Pete Newman. 23rd, Jamie Fluke. 24th, Sebastian Job. 25th, David Baker. 26th, Michael Shellback. 27th, Celine Chepelewski. 28th, Jerome Kaiser. 29th, Steve Hefford. 30th, Jamie Rushworth. 31st, Russell Laidler. And then 32nd, Ben Palmer.
Yeah.
And, so not too many cars with incidents that actually with the incidents over the limit.
Were there any actually over there?
There was,
there was a few.
One. Where are the incident limits? One.
Over the, as in the ones that finished.
The ones that finished. Yeah, we had Malcolm that was over the incident limit with 13 incidents. Blake finished. Yeah, he had 13, and Fag finished with 15.
Right. Yeah, so 3 cars disqualified then. So, but they still finished ahead of the ones that were out earlier on, I believe. So,
well, there weren't points, were they at all?
Well, the points have been updated. However, the numbers are all jumbled up, so we'll wait for them to be finalised.
Alex, I think we've got to go back and look at that first lap incident again.
I've closed my thing, haven't I?
Just because I think obviously that's the big point of the race, and I don't think there's any more point discussing this race beyond that.
Yeah, it kind of set up everything else, really, didn't it? Yeah, let me just see if I can find this.
I mean, I'd also understand if you didn't want to show it again because
No.
Oh yeah, that's why I've closed mine.
Well, there's not. The race start really. I mean, I'll be honest.
Set the tone.
Well, yeah, it did, but it's not so much of. It's just a typical incident where obviously the traffic just bounces back into the road off the arco. There was nothing. There was a couple of cars.
The track does narrow
involved in it.
down there.
Yeah, there was a couple of cars involved in it, and it was unfortunate. This is the restart I'm looking at, I think. Yeah,
the first incident, Alex. To be fair, was just a racing incident. There's nothing anybody could do about that. It was all the stuff afterwards that was the bad part. The stuff with the first crash, it couldn't be helped. Those guys, nobody could help that. I don't think.
Yeah, no.
It was unlucky for all those guys,
Yeah, just the way, like I say, when you've got Onco around there, like Watkins or like Road America or somewhere like that, Brands Hatch we saw as well. It just bounces back on the traffic, and there's nothing anyone can do when you're in a pack like that. These Kias actually quite large, and when you're up close, 2 or 3 tenths behind, you can't see anything. So like all you'll see is the car in front. Wow, these cars are just bouncing everywhere. So, there's Pete in the orbit. Yeah, it was worth watching back. You gotta just laugh. You gotta just laugh at it. That's all that you've got to do. Is you can't.
But again, it was just a little tiny incident. It wasn't. There was no. I'll be perfectly honest. There was absolutely no bad driving involved in that incident. Really. I'd say it was fine. I'd say it was netcode involved, if anything. The stuff that followed it, I don't even think deserves talking about because I just think it was disgraceful. But the first lap incidents happened. But there's no excuse for intentional crashing and all the things that it appeared that was going on after the restart.
Well, I've just been handed.
That's me done for that. Boys.
Yeah,
I'm done for the night.
Robert Graham particularly will probably be given a penalty for the next race meeting. We'll run you through the standings then. They've just been handed in. Wojciech Savidovic leads the standings, 120 points now ahead of new second place man Andreas Katz. Third in the standings is Kip Stevens. Fourth it is Alex Smolensky, only 7 points behind him. Then in fifth it is Dan Hunt. Sixth Jamie Rushworth. Seventh Sebastian Joe, 5 points behind. Going into this race meeting, now he sits 192 behind. 8th, it is David Baker. 9th, it is Simon Field, joint with Pete Newman after both of them crashed out on that one. Actually, no, that might not be right. And then 10th, and then Stanislav Chepelevsky bringing up the rear in 11th.
Yes.
Those points aren't finalised yet, of course. I'm sure Jerome will be finishing everything up.
It's still very close in the championship. I mean, one thing the race has done is it's made the championship very interesting, Alex, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, the middle is very interesting now. I'm gutted, actually, in a way that we've not got like a 5-point lead anymore to really keep us on the toes. It's all, I think, really, the only way we're going to have a race for the championship now, Svidovic really just needs to be sensible and make sure he finishes every race. But if he gets a DNF, then it's all back on. I'm just watching the.
Just one DNF is all it takes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think one DNF, and it really is back on if drivers have good race meetings and slowly close the points. I'm just watching Rob Graham's failed restart. It's not the first time we've seen this in this series, is it?
Was it Donington Park a few seasons ago?
Jim Flanagan. Yeah, poor old Jim. It was that one was impressive as well.
Was that Donington Park? Because I think I was in that one.
Done one. Someone did one a couple of weeks ago as well.
Monza, that was one of them.
Monza was. Who was that now?
Was that? It wasn't Russell Laidlaw, was it? No.
Was it Cunniff? I don't know. You'll have to check that. But yeah, somebody botched the restart at Monza, and the thing is, the worst thing is, if he'd have just waited a few more seconds. He's the one in front that nobody can overtake him. He could have just gone.
I don't get why they do it. If you want to back it up about 20-30 meters, still see the safety car. And then when it ducks in, you can go, or when it's about to duck in, you go. Yeah, that's the problem. When they're so far back, they can't really see where it is. And I think that's what caught Robert Graham out there.
Doesn't help us.
He thought, yeah, it's miles away. I'm gonna got it. I'm gonna get a great start. And
The thing is, the Mustang is slow anyway.
The people going around that left-hander, seeing a whole lot of cars slamming on the brakes.
Oh, could you just imagine his thoughts when he realised he was gonna? He's like, oh crap, they're gonna be talking about this on the broadcast. And here we are. It's one of the highlights of the race, definitely.
But the thing is, the Mustang's slow enough anyway. But when it's been driven slowly as well, you're gonna catch it in a heartbeat.
Where's that SLS? We need it.
No, we need something. I don't know what it is. Maybe a nice beer. That'll do me now. Perfect.
Well, Kip Stevens, of course, is interview shy, so we can't really get him in the broadcast booth. Who
to be honest, I think on that I don't think we should bother. I really don't think we should bother.
Well, next week we head to Mosport, and as Alex was saying then just earlier, interesting proposition. First time we've been at this racetrack, I think, ever in the BSRTC. Short run down to the first corner, a long right-hander, then fast-flowing corners, Andrew, then before the tight and twisty bit, those two very slow right-handers. Bit similar to Virginia International Raceway.
Yeah, a bit like Road Atlanta as well. Very good track. Very difficult at most points. It's got that turn 2, which that's going to claim some victory. I mean, Alex, we did the IndyCar there, I think, didn't we, once or twice, and it's going to claim some people, is that?
Yeah, I think the first lap, if you're on the outside of that tricky left-hander, I think that we're going to see a lot of people run off wide there. It's going to be good in the hairpin. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it actually. I think we'll have some good racing there. Certainly hope for a little bit better than that final race. But I have to say, the first 2 races, guys, I thought were great tonight.
Yeah,
they were.
I really enjoyed them, and we do. Unfortunately, every now and again, you get race meetings. Well, not meetings, but you get races like this. It happens. We'll chalk it up as one of the ones to forget. We won't show it on the highlight reel.
Shall we just quickly grab Andy Whitehead maybe for an interview, because he did a great race. I think it'd be unfair probably to leave everyone hanging, I guess.
I've just had a look at what Jerome Kaiser put. He had 1 hour worth of repairs after that race one crash. After that crash.
That's less repairs than I had after crashing into a rough at the weekend.
Well, Andrew Whitehead joins us. Andrew, congratulations on your 2nd place. It looked like you avoided all of the carnage that was unfolding behind.
Thanks for the acknowledgement that it was actually 2nd. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just one of those. It was really nice, actually. I know it's unfortunate for everybody else, but it was so nice to see it unfolding in the mirrors because you just know the pressure's off then. Just waiting for Watch to catch up so I could look out for the team points.
It was a pretty good meeting for Engine All Direct, really. You generally avoided most of the carnage and you got through okay. I mean, seemed to be fairly trouble-free for you in the last race, actually.
The last race was a dream. I mean, the tyres were awful. I was just talking to Rob Graham, actually. We both suffered fairly quick degradation of the tyres, but yeah, it was grand enough. Luckily, everybody else was scrapping behind, so that worked out for us. No, the first race I had a jump start. I slipped on the clutch, so I had to do a stop and go penalty. And the second one, I started from the pit lane because I missed the start altogether. But as a team, I think we had a bit of a shocker. To be fair, we lost a couple of cars in the first race, and then a couple of cars in the second race. So the team points, I don't think, are going to shine ever so brightly for us this week.
Talk us through that restart. Robert Graham back in the pack up and then going around the left hand to down the straight, and all of a sudden the safety car was still there.
I mean, I guess it's just that inexperience, isn't it? I would be the same, having led so few laps. How do you know when to go? The guys who are always there and always at the front of those restarts kind of know how to judge it. But yeah, he just went too early, and then in fact that's what caused Dan Blake a good bit of trouble, because I think as it checked up, he went into the back of Scott, and that caused a fair bit of damage to the front of his car.
Sorry, go on, mate.
I was going to say, I think you'd be pleasantly surprised with the points for the teams championship.
Yeah.
You're only 16 points behind GT Omega in second. You're in second place, so you're actually a lot closer than what you thought.
Yes, I got to see the positive out of it. But when you consider we went into the showdown a reasonable way ahead of everybody, we've dropped a bit, and we need to sort our game out for the remainder of the season.
Interestingly,
GT Omega looked quick today. Sorry,
you go.
No, it's fine. That was it.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, interestingly, obviously Simpson racing 310 points behind now as well. So that you guys are gapping them. So it really is starting to look a bit like a 2-horse race, really.
Yeah, it is quite fortunate for us that they had such a shocker. We're disappointed with the overall result of the night, but it could have been so much worse. We could have got involved in some of those incidents that took the stem cars out. So we're going to count our blessings really and move forward from there, I guess.
Wojciech especially was extremely lucky. He was like Houdini out there. He was like Bruce Lee, like moving like water through these incidents, and that's partly the reason why I think he's still so close in the standings, because he could have easily DNF'd twice in that last race.
Yeah, he did mention that afterwards, actually, that he couldn't believe how he managed to squeeze through. I think he got a bit of a tickle on the way through on his first one, so he was carrying a little bit of damage, but not enough to. With his ability, the car has to be completely banjoed before it slows him down. So, yeah, that was all right.
Well, mate, as we look towards Motorsport, is that a track that you're keen on?
I love it, but I do prefer it in a rear-wheel drive car. So, let's wait and see. It's one of those. It's one of those Marmite tracks, isn't it? And it's got the really tricky downhill negative camber left-hander that catches so many people out.
Yeah, turn 2.
Yeah, it looks like a great opportunity to dive for the inside, but you soon lose grip. And if you think about how the marbles are going to collect on the outside of there, that's going to catch a few people out. And then of course you've got the other tricky downhill into the double apex hairpin. I've got a feeling there's going to be some daft moves into that as well. It's going to be interesting.
Well, indeed, mate. And thanks for joining us again in the commentary box. You were one of the few shining lights out there tonight, so be proud of yourself for that.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, we'll run you through the standings then of all three championship groups. Wojciech Savidovic then leads Andreas Katz by 119 points, Kip Stevens in third, Alex Smolensky in fourth, and Dan Hunt in fifth. Jamie Rushworth drops 3 positions to 6th, Sebastian Joe drops down 5 positions, he's now in 7th, David Baker in 8th, and in joint 9th, Pete Newman, Simon Fields with Stelian Chepelevsky in 11th. In the Pro-Am standings, Richard Gore, Paul Smith, 3 points between them in that race. It was pretty crucial that Paul Smith got past Steve Richardson, but he couldn't on that last lap, and that allows Gore to pull ahead. John Roberts, 39 points behind Steve Richardson in 4th, and Laura Bond in 5th, with Stephen Burke in 6th. And as Alex was saying, Teams Championship, which is where the majority of the prize money is going, is very close. GT Omega, Engine All Direct, 16 points between them, and Stem Sim Racing is in 3rd.
Right, so
Guys, I just want to quickly bring Rob Graham down. He's been patiently waiting in the interview, and as we had a bit of a chuckle at his expense with the restart, I feel it's only fair that we invite him in here just to share in it a little bit.
Funnily enough, we've just been sitting having a chuckle about that ourselves.
Well, I mean, all in all, still a really good result for yourself, Rob, really. And, looked like you guys were having a lot of fun out front for a little while there. And then, of course, the restart happened. We won't dwell on that too much for you. But, it looked like, good to see you guys, instead of, say, Alex, who's normally towards the front, representing Laser Tool so well.
Yeah, it was great. It was great to get the 3 of us in top 10 finishes. That was not very often we see that, but it was a lot of fun, that 3rd race. A lot of fun up the front, battling away. And until my tyres went off, I was doing all right. But once they went off, it was just a case of doing the best I could to keep people behind me, And
this obviously is the bonus of the large reverse grids. Obviously 26 put you right towards the front. Like I say, top 10 finish for all 3 of you guys in that race. Pretty pretty rare. So yeah, team must be really stoked actually.
Very chuffed indeed. Like I say, it was a fantastic race, a lot of fun. Lots of battles throughout. Good wee battle with Scott going on for a while as well. He did a good job of holding the guys behind us as well, which was good.
Is there any sort of inter-team rivalry between you guys? I mean, you look pretty close on pace, to be honest.
Yeah, totally. We raced those. No team orders other than we maybe now that we're in a showdown phase and Alex is still fighting for it, we give him a place if we see him sort of thing. But other than that, me and Scott will battle it away quite happily, taking each other out if need be, as you do.
Cool, and yeah, just to sort of look towards next week, Mosport as well. How are you guys all set for that?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I've never raced at the track before. I don't even currently own it, so
well, that'd be fun.
Going to be a lot of preparation required for that one.
Awesome, thanks Rob. Well, good luck that week. Thanks for coming in and chat, and don't worry, we won't show that failed restart anymore.
No, go ahead. That was great. It was a good laugh. Cheers, guys.
Awesome. Cheers, buddy. Alright, guys, I thought, yeah, we'll get him in quickly before we sign it off, as I saw him down there waiting, and yeah, as we were having a good old laugh.
Yeah, why not? And
there's just
sorry, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just only 9 races left.
Yeah, wow. Where's the season gone?
The season is
Not sure. It is quite. You know, we've been doing it for a long
very
time
long
now.
Season, 8 months now, but yeah, you know, it's been a great season, and we can't underline that enough that we've loved every minute of this season so far, and except maybe a few minutes in the middle of that last race. So I'm not going to let that sour, which was a good first 2 races. They were great. We had some great racing, great excitement. So that's what we need to take from this night, I think.
Awesome. Right, thanks, guys. We'll wrap it up, I think, here, shall we? Shall we not? No one else, really. There's a couple of people in the channel wanting for an interview, but yeah, I'm sorry, we'll have to come back to you next week. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed tonight as well. So you know, like you say, we won't dwell on the bits in the final race. The first 2 were brilliant, and I'm really looking forward to Mosport.
Yeah, I agree. And the next week, Mosport, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park in Canada. So from Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson, thanks for joining us with the BSRTC Pro Series. We'll be back next week on Apex Racing TV, iRacing Live, and right here on Motors TV.